to welcome the world to Whistler. Hello, France, New Zealand. What's going on, USA, Poland, Belgium, Sweden, Czech Republic, and hello to you, Canada. On Red Bull TV, this is your Red Bull Joyride, part of the Crankworx World Tour, stop number 3. That's the final stop, and I'm joined by free ride legend himself, Cam McCall. Cam, how you doing?
I'm psyched, Brad. How could you not be psyched? There's no place I'd rather be right now. Today's the epitome of the sport after some anticipation. We had a rain delay yesterday, but it's Super Bowl Sunday today. Pretty fitting.
Sunday. All right, well, first off, there's so much to do out here. You could go downhill riding, you could do cross-country riding, you can do slopestyle, but that's not all to see and do when you're hanging out here in Whistler. Check it out.
Whistler Blackcomb, of course, home to the peak-to-peak gondola. I'm pretty sure it's the longest stretch across any two mountains that a gondola has ever been built across. It's truly amazing. Take the whole family up there. If you wait in line long enough, you can get the gondola with the glass bottom. I know my daughter was laying on that thing just going, wow, it's a pretty cool experience.
Did you see the look on the lady's face there?
I did. I don't know how you're not happy about being on that chair, but I have a feeling maybe that camera being pointed at her face, she's like, I didn't sign up for this.
I don't know. It's pretty high up. All right. Well, coming up, you got Brandon Seminick going for number 7 as far as podiums go and going for number 4 as far as wins go in Joyride. So there's all types of numbers being thrown around out here. And speaking of numbers, there's a very special number that we're talking about. And for more on that, let's send it down. Third member of our team, Tina Dixon, with more on that special number. Tina?
Right now, I'm standing about midway on this course, and as I'm looking around, there are 13 trickable features. That is the most we have ever seen at a Crankworx, and it's not just the number that is impressive, it's also the size of the jumps that have people talking. Now, keep in mind, we did have a lot of rain earlier, and in a way, it changes the consistency of the sound. So these riders may have to adjust their speeds throughout the day, and that's just an extra element for these guys to think about. Now, there has been so much talk about Bret and Brandon. And I spoke to Bret after he won Ladies Alp and asked him what he was going to do between then and now. And he said, I'm going to go home, I'm going to train, I'm going to practice. There is a lot of pressure on his shoulders, especially with that Triple Crown at stake. But guys, it is anyone's game today, and it is going to come down to who can trick all 13 of these features the best, guys.
And Tina breaking down that special number. We talk a lot about the numbers, and of course, this being the 3rd stop on the Crankworx World Tour, there's a lot of numbers there. But can you explain, Cam, about the World Tour and how it breaks down?
Yeah, the Triple Crown, this is the first year that it's been offered up, and it's an amazing thing to have, you know. Horses, they do it. You watch Bret Reader ride, he's got a lot of horsepower. So it's been 40-some-odd years until American Pharoah rolled in this year and won the Triple Crown of horse racing. Can Bret Reader do it? He's won the first 2. Super hard to win 2. Can he win 3 and make history? I can't wait to find out.
I like how you just quoted the horse's name. That is pretty cool stuff right there.
He's going to be the Canadian Pharoah.
All right. So everyone keeps talking about Reader, and there's a whole bunch of pressure because he's won the first 2 events, and if he wins this one, he does complete the Triple Crown. So that's what it's all about. But Cam, explain to me, it's like Reader versus the world, right?
Well, you said it, Brad. Bret Reader, the guy who started out this season saying he just wanted to stop somebody from winning that Triple Crown. Well, he got things off to a great start down in New Zealand. Rotorua course was ridiculous, and Bret threw down an insane run, putting him on the top step of the podium, and 1 under his belt, 1 step closer to the Triple Crown. Second step was out in France, Les Deux Alpes. Once again, it was another case of Bret Reader dominating the competition, moving into the top step of the podium, and another step closer to that ridiculous prize. And here we are. It's the last opportunity for somebody to stop him. Can he do it? He's never won Joyride before. A guy who's won it 3 times, Brandon Seminick, obviously looking for that 3-peat and being the first ever to do it 4 times. Thomas Jinan, he did it in 2012. Can he rain on Bret Reader's parade? Nikolai Gakuen, can he put together his run? He had problems last year. And then the list goes on. Sam Pilgrim, Yannick Granieri, Sam Reynolds, so many of the world's top slopestyle athletes, all gunning for one man, Bret Reader.
Definitely the pressure on Reader. Can he deliver? We're going to find out more about that. But for you slopestyle aficionados, there's so many different tricks to break down on here. But there's one that we decided would be kind of fun to break down. And Cam, can you explain to us and the people watching at home about the bar spin, man?
Yeah, Brad, for sure. Something to watch out for here today is definitely bar spin. Such an important trick because it can be performed on even the smallest obstacles. One of the techniques you see of the bar spin is walking it all the way around with one hand and then catching it with the other. We call that a bus driver. You see Nikolai Gakuen showing you right there on the snail berm. Also, it's important because you can do it opposite. You see Brandon Semenuk right here doing a different technique with the opposite bar spin. He's throwing it, so he's pinching with his knees, he's chucking the bars, catching it with the other hand, so there's a period of time there where he's not even holding onto the bar. It's an important trick because it can be thrown into variations. Right here we're seeing Bret Reader performing the bar spin in a truck driver. That's a term we like to use for a 360 with a bar spin. And then if you want to get ultra styly, like Anthony Missouri here, we're seeing him do it in a cork flat spin 360. So look for those bar spins out there today.
Nice. Look at the big brain on cam breaking down the whole bar spin deal there. All right, time for one of my favorites called In, Out, and On the Bubble. Okay, Cam, first off, what is in today?
All right, I like this game, Brett. So in today is the magic number 3. 3 is a special number today for a couple reasons. Brandon Semenuk has the opportunity to make it a true 3-peat. He's won it 3 times already, but never in a row. So if he wins here today, after winning 2013, 2014, he can make it a 3-peat. Of course, Bret Reader, we've been talking about it so much, the Triple Crown. He's won the first 2 events this year. So if he wins this one, true Triple Crown, first time it'll ever be done.
All right, then what's out, Cam?
Out, unfortunately, is Anton Thielander. After a huge 4th place in 2013, we didn't see him last year. We're not seeing him again this year. He broke his collarbone last practice run yesterday.
All right, so my favorite is And On the Bubble. What's on the bubble?
On the bubble is definitely math. Nobody likes math, so why would you have to do it in slopestyle? Well, if you don't have a detangler on your bike, you're counting bar spins, counting tail ups, trying to figure out how many times you have to wrap that cable around your handlebars. So math, you don't like it, so you get a detangler, a mechanical one, a hydraulic one. About 50% of the field running those out here today.
All right, if you're coming out to a slopestyle competition for the first time, or maybe you're an old dog and you've been out to many slopestyle competitions, you still want to know what the format is, and I got the guy for the job right now. Cam McCall, can you break down the format?
Yes, Brad. So they're running traditional mountain bike slopestyle competition format out here today. There's 18 riders. They get 2 runs. The best run counts, and at the second run, they re-rack them based on the results from the first round. So lowest score dropping first, highest score dropping last. It really builds the drama as you get to those last few riders.
Well, in a perfect world, we'd like to land that your first run. That's what you want to do, but we'll see how it plays out. Well, for more, let's check in right now with the 4th member of our team. It's Hannah Bernard. Hannah?
Well, thanks very much, guys. Yes, obviously talking about the rain showers yesterday, having to postpone the event till today. But one guy that is very happy about the postponing is Brandon Semenuk. Now, what we saw yesterday is he took a hard landing off of the Kokanee Whaler in practice, in his practice run. And as you can see here, he actually cracked his back wheel. So now with this extra night, he's been able to get dialed in on the setup side of things and the mental side. So we have a level playing ground going into Red Bull Joyride 2015 as these guys get ready for their chance at glory. Guys, back up to you.
All right, thank you so much, Hannah Bernard, breaking that down. And did you see that happen, or did you see the aftermath of that?
I caught the tail end of it. I saw him land sideways, and I saw the wheel blow up, and I couldn't tell who it was. And then when I saw him walking around down there in the corral, and oh my gosh, it's Brandon! Holy cow, it's crazy.
So Brandon having a little bit of trouble right there, but you know, having a day off to kind of fix things and make sure your bike is in tip-top condition, that's okay.
I think it's going to be really good for everybody. The nerves build so much leading up to Saturday's final, and it was supposed to happen kind of the end of the afternoon. Yeah. Starting out first thing on a beautiful morning like today, I think it's perfect for everybody.
All right. Well, Bret Reader, of course, yesterday not feeling quite so good, and had a chance to catch up and talk about the postponement of Joyride. So take a look at this, what Bret Reader had to say.
It's clearly too wet. The wood's soaked. It's actually muddy right now, so we can't ride. You know, which is a good thing for me because I've been sick all day. I woke up this morning just hovering the toilet, you know, until I forced myself to do a couple runs, and I'm not ready to do a final today anyways. So I'm very satisfied and happy right now for this to happen tomorrow. If I had to do a run today, it wouldn't be my best. So yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow.
I'll tell you right now, adversity is what I call that right now. And you think about what he has dealt with, and you think about the stop #1 in Rotorua. He was not feeling good at that one either, and he was able to come back and win. And yesterday, not feeling good. So showing you what he has done by not feeling good, Reader's been on point.
Exactly. What does that foreshadow? Like you said, in New Zealand, he was feeling really sick. It rained, and then he ended up winning. So it's a great thing for him to have a little bit more time to heal up and feel better. But is it, you know, history tends to repeat itself. Is this a little bit of foreshadowing for what we'll see today? Time will tell.
Let's talk about the start list. The first one, Torquato Testa, he came out yesterday, had a run, but then it got postponed, so he's going to get 2 runs today.
Thank goodness. You know, starting out with Torquato Testa means we're going to get this thing off on the right foot. It's going to start with a bang. He's an Italian rider out here in his first trip to North America, definitely ready to make waves.
And look at all those French flags in there. Yannick, you got Thomas Lemoine, and then you got Louie Rebel.
Yeah, the French riders are coming out strong. They all had really good showings in Les Deux Alpes, but can they do it off of their home turf here in Whistler?
Yeah, that's one thing. You know what? This isn't your country, but it's kind of close. I mean, all right, let's look at the rest of these guys. Reader, Salmon, Tommy G, Nikolai, Anthony, Logan. Wow.
That's just a page full of consistency right there. Looking at Logan Pete, he's 4th in the overall.
Wow.
FMB right now, all the way down to Bret and Brandon. Like, it's just a stacked field.
Oh, look, he's got a smile today. I like to see this out of him right now.
This is deja vu.
Now, remember yesterday when he took his first run, he looked like a deer in headlights right there. Today, he looks like he's a lot more focused. He earned his spot, a 2nd place finish in Colorado a few weeks ago. That got him in the big show, and here he comes from Italy doing it for Beto Bikes. It's Torquato Testa.
So excited to see him get a second chance. It's not often you get a second chance your first time dropping into this course. There we go. He's starting out like he did yesterday, that flat drop backflip, going again with that double tail up off the up box, slipping pedals. Can he hold it? He does make it over that 3rd feature, that step-up jump. Obviously, that's going to hurt him, but he's still on his bike, which is great. Out of the shark fin, no trick. Tuck no-hander on the first jump in the 4-pack. What's it going to be on the second one? Going backflip, tuck no-hander on the 2nd jump in the 4-pack. He's got a minute to regroup here before going off this cannon. Backflip, tuck no-hander on the cannon.
Nice.
That's something we have not seen yet in a slopestyle competition. Seat grab, Indian air on the hip. He's definitely rebounding from that small mistake before. Opposite 360 going up on top of the Joyride cabin. Regular 360 down. He's definitely bounced back now. He's in the snail berm. 1 more feature left. The whale tail. Tuck no-hander in. Backflip, no-footed can out, straight to pedals.
Now it's a situation. Now look, Torquato, we saw that run. It's a good, solid run. He did have that foot dab in there, but he got more practice on the course. It's not going to be the biggest score that he's looking for, but still, there's room for improvement, and he can get his confidence built from that.
Well, like we were saying, you don't really get a second chance your first time dropping into this Joyride event, but he did, and he did do a better run than he had yesterday because he didn't have to stop. So this double tail up right here is where it all went wrong. Slightly missing the pedals, but his recovery is something that I find really impressive.
Nice.
He's sitting down, and then he gets back on and somehow pushes through.
So we'll wait for that score to come in from head judge Paul Rock and the crew up there doing an amazing job as they do year in and year out. So the score coming in, that's going to be a 52. Hey, not bad for having that foot dab in there, missing his pedal, still getting a 52. Good
well,
stuff.
I think he had a 19 yesterday, so he'll take that 52. And don't forget, he still has another opportunity to better that score in the second runs.
So yesterday, if you remember, Tom Van Steenburgen was just about ready to go. This is what happened. He was ready to go, and then the rain started falling, so it was right before his run. But today, not the case. We got the good weather. And talking to Tom Van Steenburgen earlier, he's ready to go right now, and he's been doing some solid stuff this year. 5th at 26 tricks, 5th at Silverstyle. Did it for Trek C3 from Canada. It's Steenburgen, Tom Van Steenburgen.
Tom is one of my favorite riders. He's been trying to get into this contest for years. So good to see him here dropping in. Starting out with a 360 off the start drop. Moving into that up box. Oh, nice. A combination of tuck no-hander to toboggan. 360 downside tail whip, getting nice and corked out on that and going right to the pedals. Setting up on that shark fin. We're going into the 4-pack now. Backflip, tuck no-hander on the first jump of the 4-pack, landing a little over-row, but able to push through and get this front flip. Landing perfect on that front flip. Tom's onto a good one here. Into the cannon log. Suicide no-hander, now onto the hips. Oh, it's going to be tail whip transfer on the hip for Tom, going from the left takeoff to the right landing. Joyride cabin, backflip up, and a front flip off. Oh my God, can he hold on?
Oh, he goes down.
Oh man, we haven't seen anybody try to front flip off the Joyride cabin since it's been on the course the last few years.
And we can see that he is obviously very shaken up right now. We got the best medical staff out here At Crankworx will tend to all of our riders need. So where you guys could come in right now is the positive vibes for our rider Tom van Steenburgen going down on that one. But you see, when you have a major competition like this, Cam, you're going to go for your biggest stuff. And like you said, we hadn't seen that on the Joyride cabin before recently. And Tom trying to land it down right there and trying to stop it.
Well, Tom being one of the gutsiest riders in the field out here today, you know, it's no surprise that he's the one to try it. There's a lot of riders who are capable of front flipping off a drop, but it's so risky. You come down with so much more force out of that front flip than you would any other type of trick.
And you know, I mean, firsthand experience, you've had trouble in a competition with the fronty before too as well, right?
Yeah, so let's take a look back here. He's trying to balance out this run, going back flip on and front flip off. He gets really good snap. That's the problem. It's easy to get good snap. It's hard to open up and slow the rotation before your tires touch down to the dirt. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to stop that forward rotation. He just kept rotating after the bike hit.
Yeah, your momentum is taking you forward.
There we go. We see him up now, Brad. The crowd, huge round of applause for Tom van Steenburgen. He was putting on a huge show for them, and they appreciate every minute of it. Unfortunately, he went down, but thank goodness he's back up quick.
Well, and Tom's an amazing dude. He let, Dakota Norton use his bike in the pump track, and actually Dakota ended up getting bronze on Tom's bike. That's how it shows you this, what a giving dude he is, man, Tom van Steenburgen.
You know, the consequences with a front flip, it looks like he's holding his left shoulder right there, which obviously isn't ideal. I wish he would have stomped that. That would have been great to see, but luckily, you know, shoulders heal, and we'll see him back on his bike soon.
Yeah, we'll see if we can
All right, we're going to get a second angle of this crash, it looks like, Brad.
This is going to be the angle to see it on.
We're actually going to be able to see him hit the ground here. So, yeah, front tire hit just a split second right before the back tire. And, you know, being one of the guys who's the best at front flips in the world, he has the longest front flip ever on a mountain bike.
Yeah, in the new video that you guys are a part of, Unreal, that he does that in that one, right?
Yeah, so like if it's hard for Tom to slow down the rotation on that thing, it just goes to show how difficult it is and why maybe we haven't seen it the last couple of years that Joyride cabin has existed on the Joyride course.
Yeah. All right, well, another guy we see Tom kind of making his way down. We hope he is okay. We wish him the best on that one. But another guy that was supposed to be competing out here in the final series. He wasn't able to do it. He got hurt yesterday. Unfortunately, we won't see him in there, but he gave us our GoPro course preview, courtesy of Carson Storch. Take a look.
My name's Carson Storch. I'm up here in Whistler, BC at Red Bull Joyride course, and I'm just gonna take a quick lap through and tell you how it rolls. So, dropping in, get a nice little pump right here. Nice little pump right here. You don't have to take a crank and just drop. You just pop a bar spin with it. Up into this wedge. That's a nice truck driver. Oh yeah, nice and fun. This thing's just a booter, nice little step up. Then you kind of got to slow down, ride high. Hit this thing, landing low. Hit the next thing. Low. Throwing a nice flip. Oh yeah. Then you kind of slow down, rail the berm. In, pop the boner log, and slow down. Hitting this hip nice and lofty, super fun. Yeah, that's the point where you're kind of deep, kind of fast. You got cruise up into this, take a little crank, pop a 3 going into the toilet bowl, drop, and then this is closed, so.
And that is taking a look, Carson Storch right there, and giving us our GoPro course preview. And, man, a lot of high hopes for Carson Storch coming off that Max's Slopestyle win, the biggest win of his career. And here's a look at him right now getting carted off.
Oh, man, Carson, I care about this kid so much. I ride with him all the time, live in the same town as him, and just such a bummer to see him go down. His last practice run, doing something that he had been doing all week. And you saw from that course preview, he's so casual, just truck driving and just telling us stories. Too bad he had to go down.
Well, we'll wish him the best on a speedy recovery. Next up for you, how about this man right here? A good friend of yours, Cam. Your 2009 Joyride champion. And he's been doing some things in a big way, doing it for Mongoose. 11th at Swatch Primeline, and ended up 12th in Colorado at the Max's Slopestyle final. And here he is right now. When you are a former Joyride winner, all eyes on you. And here we go. For the U.S., this is Greg Watts.
Like you said, Brad, Greg has won this before. He's got one of those Super Bowl Crankworx rings, so he's tasted blood. He wants it again. Greg starting out, 360 off the start drop, into the up box with a Superman seat grab. Cool, different trick. We don't see super often on that. 360 suicide no-hander at the last second on that step up. So far, he's tricking everything. A straighter out of that shark fin, but a backflip suicide no-hander on the first jump in the 4-pack. Can he link it to something else? A backflip, bar spin to bar spin back, it looked like. We'll have to consult the replay for that. But moving into the cannon, another stretch suicide no-hander, and a backflip X up on the hip. Here we go. We got the last two features here. We got the Joyride cannon, backflip up, 360 X up down. Changing direction now in the snail berm and doing it for the crowd here on the whale tail. Bar spin in and a backflip out. Solid run top to bottom for Greg Watts.
You know what? That's good strategy right there. Greg Watts just wanted to get one under his belt, get a solid run in, and then maybe take chances and see where you play with the rest of the riders because you'll have a second run coming up. Well, we'll see what the score is for Greg Watts. But put your hands together for Mr. Greg Watts, a former Red Bull Joyride champ here back in 2009.
All right, we're gonna go to the replay here. We're looking at the 4-pack. He had the backflip suicide on the first jump, and then here, this is where I really wanna pay attention to see exactly what he did. Backflip bar spin to bar spin back. He's spinning the bars both ways in that backflip. Such a technical maneuver.
Well, you talked about bar spins earlier, and it was like bar spin on demand from Greg Watts for you.
Yeah, we definitely didn't think about talking about backflip bar spin to bar spin back, because you don't see it very often, but there it was.
All right, score coming in for Mr. Greg Watts. What's that going to be doing? Trying to beat that 52. He does that. The new leader, he's got a 68.6. That's some good stuff out of Greg Watts with that 68.60. Well, there we go. Greg Watts has put in his first run of the day. So we have seen Torquato Testa come down. We see Tom Van Steenburgen come down and go down and have an injury there. And then we see Greg Watts. So we've seen 3 riders so far. But next up for us, we got Mehdi Ghani now.
Oh, man, we're into it, Brad. They're dropping. I don't see any clouds now. It's great to finally get this thing underway.
So Mehdi Ghani 4th at Vienna Air King, 7th in France, 8th white style. Here we go. Mehdi Ghani right here from France.
Mehdi Ghani starting things off with a flat drop flip for himself as well. So smooth. Truck driver, a 360 bar spin off of that up box. Boosted front flip on that step up. Man, he's tricking absolutely everything. Into the shark fin. Carrying speed. Now we're into the 4-pack. A backflip bar spin. What's he got on the second jump? Bar spin to tuck no-hander, getting the combo. Well-balanced run here. Into the cannon. Mehdi Ghani, another backflip onto that cannon. So hard to rotate off that flat, no transition takeoff. Looked like he was transferring that hip flip right there. Onto the cannon. Bar spin up and a 360 down. He's into the snail burn. We got one more feature for the crowd here. The whale tail. Another backflip smooth out of that whale tail, top to bottom for Mehdi Ghani. Man, he packed a lot into that.
I think I saw him smiling about mid-run when they took a camera shot of him. He was enjoying that run 100%.
Well, it's because he's so happy to finally be here. For so many years, he's been trying to build those points up, but little things would happen, injuries and whatnot, and he's finally here at Joyride. No better feeling than putting your run down, sitting in that finish corral, just celebrating.
Yeah, what is that like when you get that on the first run? And you get down there. You're feeling good, right?
Well, it's like the exact opposite when people go out, drink, and have a good time. They feel hungover the next day. You feel scared at the top. You get down, you feel great. Starting out with that backflip off the flat drop. Man, we're seeing a lot of riders do that. It was such a rare thing for the last few years. It's so difficult to rotate without any lip, but he's learned it. He's coming out showing that the French riders have the new tricks off the drops as well. He was going for that tuck no-hander into the whale tail. Wasn't able to get the hands off, but he had a smooth flip out and just, put a nice staple on that run, and he'll be back up there for the second run.
All right, so we'll wait for that score to come in for him, and that's going to check in. Does he take Watts down on that one? No, he's going to end up in that second spot, a 62.6 for Mehdi Ghani right there, finding himself in that second spot. All right, so checking the scores right now. Greg Watts, 68.6, has him in the lead. Mehdi Ghani now in that second spot, the 62.6. Torquato with the 52, but look, we got Cam Zink. And Cam Zink is a member of the two-timer club, and that means he has won it twice. You look back to 2006, that was his first big win on the Red Bull Joyride, and then he did it again in 2010. So he's been on fire. Don't forget his second place finish at Rampage last year.
I mean, what's not to say about Cam Zink? He's such a legend in the sport. Every time he drops into a contest run, everybody's just wondering, what is he going to try this time?
Here we go. Next up from the U.S., put your hands together for Cam Zink.
All right, Cam Zink rolling into this start drop feature. I have a feeling what he might have. Yep, starting out with that flat drop backflip, making it look so easy. He landed right on the landing. He went overshoot last year, but he's got this. Ooh, backflip, one-footed X up to knack-knack. He calls that the chicken wing on that third jump. Getting the one-footed X up out of the shark fin as well. Backflip, Superman C-grab. Oh, whoa.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, man, so glad he didn't get pinched to flat right there. He came up slightly short on that backflip, Superman C-grab. Really good extension, but just slightly short on that landing. And, I mean, he made that a lot better than it could have been.
But he looked like he was having a solid run from the top to the bottom. He was working on what he wanted to do, and everything was kind of coming together. But when you have 13 trickable features, Cam, it's not easy to put them all together in one run.
Yeah, I think that was starting out exactly how he wanted. Unfortunately, it finished exactly how his first run started last year. He had that backflip Superman C-grab on that same jump last year, but had a little bit of a mishap as well. He's going to do this one for the crowd here, get to the bottom of the finish corral, regroup, and we'll see him back up the top for round 2. There we go. Cam Zink spinning off the cabin just for fun and for the crowd. He knows this is a throwaway score. But he's also such a showman, so having Cam Zink out here yet again putting on a show is amazing. Can't wait to see his second run.
You got to, and it's one of those things, right? It doesn't come together on your first run. You just kind of wash that away and focus on one more run count.
Yeah, well, being a guy with so much experience here, he knows he's got his head in the right place.
And there he is right there. Cam Zink finishing off run number 1. He'll have another one. Let's take a look at these replays here, Cam.
Here we go. Everything was going good. Great extension on the backflip Superman C-grab, but look at that. Feet off, rear wheel behind the top of the landing. And thank goodness he was able to get his butt back to that seat instead of getting pitched to flat. Oh, a double Superman.
All right, let's check in. Let's check in with Tina Dixon, third member of our team, standing by with Cam. Tina?
And Cam, you have so much experience here. You've won here twice. So how do you put that fall out of your head and head up to do the second run?
I don't know. It's brutal. Landed that so many times in practice, and same thing I messed up on last year. It's heartbreaking. But I know I can do it. It's just a matter of putting it together.
All right, well, you have another run. Best of luck, guys.
Yeah, Cam Zink right there. I tell you what, you can see obviously a little bit frustrated right there, and for good reason. It got him last year. It gets him on the first run, but Cam's a professional. He'll go back up there. He could shake that off and come down and stomp that second run, Cam.
And you hear him say he did it in practice. I know he's a guy who likes to get every single thing that he wants to do out of the way in practice, and he has all the confidence in the world knowing that he's done it before. He can do it again. It's just a matter of, when they say go, it's hard to link them all together.
Yeah, and one thing, too, I mean, you're a guy who's won it twice, so big stuff out of him, and he'll have one more shot to put it together again. Well, next up, you got to like what he's been having an amazing year. Paul Genovese, right now, he's ranked in the top 10 for your FMB Diamond Series. He's in 7th place, so he's in striking distance. Did some solid stuff at Swat's Prime Line, got 6th place. Then it was 11th in Rotorua and 12th in France. So he's been on kind of the outside of the top 10 on those, but he's been in the top 10 on some other events. And 7th in the FMB Diamond Series, that is no slouch. And here we go. He's ready to do it right now, doing it for Cro-Mag from Canada. Let's hear it for Paul Genovese.
Paul Genovese's lifestyle right now, massively conducive to doing well, living with Brandon Semenek, Logan Pete. What does he have for us? Starting out with a truck driver off the start drop, rolling into the up box. It's going to be a Superman seat grab. So much extension. Backflip bar spin on that third feature, that step up. Shark fin, he's got that nice one-footed downside table. Backflip tuck no-hander, first jump of the 4-pack. Into the second jump, he's got a tuck no-hander. Looks like he wanted a combo, but he regrouped, got back to those bars. On the cannon log, Paul Genovese, tuck no-hander to suicide no-hander.
Nice.
Awesome combination. Flipping that hip, landing low, but so smooth. Such great composure out of this kid. Bar spin on top of the cabin. We're going tail whip down, making it look so easy. A little bit of style into that snail berm. Now we're into the whale tail. Paul Genovese, tuck no-hander in, and tail whip down smooth.
Yes!
Nice run in the back for Paul.
Paul Genovese looking to get a solid one under his belt, and that should happen right there for him as we wait for that score to come in. Greg Watts is the score to beat right now with the 68.6. Mehdi Ghani, another score in the 60s with that 62.6. So Genovese putting down a solid run. We'll see what the judges think, yeah.
And just the composure of this run. We're going to take a look at the replay again, and keep in mind, he rides and trains with Logan Pete and Brandon Semenuk. So watch how smooth his landings are, how calm he is coming into these features. Right here, something we don't see very often, a tuck no-hander to suicide no-hander on a cannon log nonetheless.
Yeah, you need the combos, that's for sure.
And he had this tail up here to finish things off. And look, watch him land. No head bob, so quiet on the bike. That's the composure you get from riding with his buddies.
So what is the score for Paul Genovese? Can he take over it and get up there in the top? Score coming in, 58.8, third place for Paul Genovese with one more in the tank for Paul.
Great run for Paul. You can see that the judges are definitely rewarding those unique combos from Greg Watts.
So let's take a look at kind of what's been going on so far. Your leaderboard, there you go. Watts on top, 68.6, a former champ. Ghani in that second spot. Genovese now just finding his way to third. That's in that fourth spot. And then Van Steenburgen in fifth. We're not sure if he'll be going another run. And then Cam Zink fell on that first run, but he's going to look to try and put things together on a second and final run. All right, let's take our attention back up top for our next competitor who's locked and loaded right now. Fifth place last year, just barely missing the podium. A good finish out in Rotorua, a top 10 for him out there, and 13th in France. He is out of France. Doing it for Scott. Next up, put your hands together for Louie Rebel.
All right, we got Louie Rebel making his way to that start drop. He's been looking really good in practice. Going with the tail whip off the start drop. We haven't seen that in a run yet today.
Oh, it looks like he needed something there.
Yeah, he missed a trick, Brad. But he's rebounding with that really quirked out 360 tail whip, landing a little sketchy, but definitely holding on to it. Classic Louie Rebel, underflip, flat spin on that thing. Oh, the cannonball. Taking both feet off, putting both hands on the seat, and then getting the tuck no-hander after it. Oh, he's going to flip that cannon.
Oh, wow.
Flipping the cannon, going long, holding on. He's got the tail up on the hip. Brad, let's check out this cabin. Ooh, opposite 360 up, dabbing a foot, but carrying speed, getting the tabletop off. Smooth through the snail.
All right, last one for him.
Tuck no-hander in, and a backflip tabletop out.
All right, Cam, I got to ask you a question. I mean, these riders were riding early today because of the postponement from yesterday. Is that something it's tough to deal with? Because these guys aren't used to coming out and have to compete at 10:30 in the morning. I mean, that's great for Europe. We get that. But over here in Whistler, not so great.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like it could also be looked at as a good thing as well. Having it in the afternoon, they've got so much time to think about it throughout the day, but they just get up and drop into their slopestyle runs here in the morning.
Well, let's take a look at the replays here. Louie Rebel tried to put down a solid run.
I love his style on that 360 tail up. Everything was looking good until he came up a little bit short, and he was also getting buck forward like we saw Zink do, but he recovered nicely and continued on his run.
So we saw him miss a trick. We saw him get that foot dab on top of the cabin. So those two things will definitely probably cost him when it comes to the score. All right, let's see that score. Let's see where he factors in. Does he get up in the mix? I got to think the judges are going to be conservative on that. Yeah, 46-2. Louie Rebel is going to find himself in a top 5 spot right there. And that's where he ended up last year. He ended up, after all was said and done, in the top 5. But I know, if you know Louie Rebel like you do, you know he's gunning for the top 3.
Yeah, he's comfy in that 5th spot, but if he wants to stay there, he's going to have to up it in that second run. Great one right there, but lots of room to just kind of iron out the kinks.
All right, well, massive crowds on hand. And you know what? They had to wait an extra day, but they showed up. They got their sleep on, and they are here to make things happen. All right, well, you got to like Thomas Lemoine, man. He's always doing something really fun, and that's what the pants-wise. You look at the leopard print here. You look at the zebra print over there. You have preferences on these, Cam?
Yeah, I mean, I like the zebra personally, and I was hoping he was going to move it forward, get the dairy cow going this year, but
well, today he's kind of mixed up. He kind of went for this kind of dead type thing here, right?
Sapped and bleach reminds me of a Nirvana lyric.
Is that what it is? Okay, I don't know. I was thinking more like fish or something like that, but that's fine. So he's going to come on down. He's mixed it up, and he is ready to go. Thomas Lemoine, and he has been a busy man competing in so many different events. And here he is, yet another event for him in slopestyle, trying to get up there and to make a charge at the king of Crankworx. But here he comes right now, Thomas Lemoine from France.
You said it. He's been a busy man, but this is really where he has his sights set. Joyride slopestyle course. 360 off this start drop. Going for 360 table on that up box. Whoa, backflip tail up on the third feature there, that step up.
And that just gets away from him a little bit there.
Oh, we saw him bar spin out of that shark fin. Oh man, 360 tuck no-hander on that first jump. Backflip bar spin on the second jump.
Puts it down.
All right, now we're coming into the cannon. Tuck no-hander to bar spin on the cannon. Man, we're seeing combos on this thing this year. Nice corked out transferring flip on that hip.
Okay, now into.
All right, oh, it's going cannonball up the cabin. Super creative 360 X up down. X upping that snail burn. What do we got, Brad?
One more to go on the whale tail.
Tuck no-hander in and truck driver down.
Nice, puts it down.
Such a smooth run with all kinds of different tricks. Great variety in that run for Thomas Lemoine.
Thomas Lemoine doing what he needed to do, put down and run. And plus, he's rocking those cool pants right there, too, as well. It's the tie-dye version this year.
The whole pants thing seems to work for him.
Yeah, I think next year there's going to be a triple crown of pants is what we're going to do next year.
Winner. He'll be the winner.
Yeah, he will win that one hands down. There we go.
Best pants in the game.
All right, let's take a look at some of the replays here.
So we're picking him up here on that third feature, that step-up jump. Really cool style on that flip whip. Just kind of missing the pedals a little bit, but his recovery was great. We saw a combo here, Brad. Tuck no-hander to bar spin on that cannon. Tough feature to trick, and doing a combo on that thing definitely is what the judges are looking for.
But look, that's a good run. That's going to challenge the top spot no matter what. Score coming in. Thomas Lemoine waiting for it is enough to take the lead. He's trying to beat a 68.6. Oh, he'll go past that one.
Wow.
81.2, your new leader, Thomas Lemoine, and he is stoked on that one, Cam.
Man, not only did he exceed Greg's score, he went quite a ways above it there with that 81.
And that's the feel-good thing, right? When you have that first run, it's a 2-run format. You're only getting 2, and you post something in the 80s on your first run, that's got to feel good.
That's what you want. You know, you want some sort of safety net. Now you can kind of throw caution in the wind and get something that second run that maybe you were kind of tentative to try on the first run.
So an 81 just gives him more chances. There's the fans filing in here. I was wondering how the crowd was going to be out here today, but they have shown up in full force. There's a look at your standings right there. Lemoine on top, 81.2 watts in that second spot. Mehdi Ghani, number 3, and Genovese in that 4. So let's take all of our attention back up top, and let's do this again. Next up for you, doing it for Polygon out of Great Britain. 8th at the FMB. He's 8th in the FMB Diamond Series all total right now. So he's in the top 10. But he's had some good finishes too as well. A 4th place at 26 tricks, a 6th place in Rotorua, a 9th place in France. So he has been on fire. And here he comes right now from Great Britain. Put your hands together for Sam Reynolds.
Yep, Sam Reynolds carrying a lot of momentum from a good season so far. What does he have at Joyride? 360 off the start drop. Going tail whip right to the pedals off that up box, into that step-up jump with a backflip, no-footed can-can, scissor kicking those legs. Carrying speed off that shark tail into the first jump of the fourth back, backflip, tail up, carrying that speed. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
That no-footed can, no-hander, nothing on the bike, and the feet off to the side. Superman on that cannon.
Perfect.
Tricking everything, Brad. He's got the tail whip on that hip transfer. What's he got coming into this cabin? Backflip on. 360 down.
Nice. And here we go. He's going to set it up for the kokanee whale tail right here. Here comes Reynolds. What's he got?
Tuck no-hander in and a backflip tuck no-hander out.
Just like that. Oh, that's awfully way too quiet. Put your hands together for Sam Reynolds one more time. That is a good run.
Oh, man, he's so stoked. Fist bumping right there. The crowd behind him giving him all the high fives. We said it before, but, man, there's no better feeling than stomping your run and high-fiving everybody in that finish corral.
Oh, yeah, that is like just a big relief off the top of your head. Here's a look at it right here.
Oh,
Love
that's the favorite part for me of that run right there. No-footed can, off to the side, no hands on the bike. So hard to do in a slopestyle run because it's one of those tricks that's not super consistent. Getting the tuck no-hander in and the backflip tuck no-hander out. Definitely an exclamation point to finish that run.
Oh, well, the score he is trying to beat is an 81.2 for the first and a 68.6 for that second spot. Can he get up there somewhere? And he comes in trying to beat that 81.2, 74.8. Reynolds into the second spot right there. Good stuff. So that means Lemoine on top with an 81.2. Sam Reynolds now in second with a 74.8. And Greg Watts with a 68.6 in third place. Wow, so things heating up here, Cam McCall. We just saw Sam Reynolds bust out a solid one. Thomas Lemoine get a good one in, and Greg Watts still in the top 3.
Man, when I saw Sam Reynolds in the gate, I was hoping he was going to pull that trick out, that no fit can nothing. It's kind of like his signature trick right now. Nobody else really doing it in a slopestyle run. Gotta love it.
Look at the look on Thomas Zeta right now. He is 100% focused on what the task at hand is right now. So here he comes. He's 6th in the FMB Diamond Series, so just out the top 5. 9th place last year. Let's see if he can improve on that. Doing it for Dartmoor. Next up for the Czech Republic, Thomas Zeta.
Thomas Zeta always bringing his own style. 360 off that start drop, and a 360 tail whip off the up box. We have not seen that yet. Backflip tail up on that 3rd jump. Here we go. We're into the shark fin. Carrying speed into that 4-pack. Getting a 360 on the first jump. What's he got on the second one? Going for a double tail whip.
So gets the double tail whip.
What's he got on the cannon? Oh, 360 table. That's that classic Thomas Zeta style. Hopefully that tire's still on. Oh, man, he had an issue after landing slightly sideways with that 3 table off the cannon.
Oh, you can see it, yeah. And that's one of those situations, Cam, right? If you land straight, if you land a little bit off to the side, that's going to break the bead, right?
No more PSI left in that thing. He broke the bead by landing sideways. That's why you want to land straight. But, man, so much style in that run. We had the double tail up, that 3 table off the cannon. Too bad he had to land just a little bit too sideways.
And how do you put that behind you when you have a situation like a mechanical like there in the middle of your run? How do you get that out of your head going into a second one?
Well, Zeta, I mean, he rides so many contests throughout the course of one season. He's got all the experience needed to block that out and just go up there for a second run. Here, we're going to take a look back at that replay.
Oh, I love the table.
Don't you? It's flat. You could have a picnic on it, but unfortunately just a little bit too sideways. When we saw him not go airborne on those hips, we knew something was up.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that one right there, so he'll look to try and put that thing together and see if he can get it all fixed in time to be able to take a second run for Thomas Zeta.
There you go. You see this now more and more often. He's got a buddy out there to help him with that mechanical. It's nice to have a little tech support out there for slopestyle.
Yeah, it's one of the situations where, you know, you got a good crew working with you. You got some people supporting you, so he'll go to the crew that he's working with and see if he can get that thing all fixed up and be ready for a second and final run coming up for Thomas Zeta. So Zeta finishing up his run right there. He'll look to a second one for him. Your top 3, Watts in 3rd, Sam Reynolds in number 2. Thomas Lemoine in the number 1 spot, 81.2. But some of the big names all coming up. And there's a big name right there, Sam Pilgrim, 25 years old, and for NS Bikes. And what do you say about Sam Pilgrim? I mean, he was your FMB Series champ just a few years ago, so he's been on top of the podium before. He knows what to do. He's taking the high fives, and he looks pretty calm. We saw him today, but it seems like he had his game face on this morning.
Yeah, either that or he was just, he was already listening to his headphones. That could have been it.
Now he's smiling. All right, I'm trying to create some drama right there, buddy. All right, well, next up for you, currently sitting in the 5th spot, the FMB Diamond Series, 3rd in Joyride 2013. 1st in the Dirt Masters, 5th in France, and 5th in Swatch Prime Line. This is Sam Pilgrim.
Sam Pilgrim started things off with a flat drop flip. First guy to ever do that a few years ago. 360 X up on that up box into the step up. Cork 720. Oh, just landing a little bit sideways. Oh, man. That was starting out real good, Brad.
So, and that's one of those things when you do it that early in the run, that's got to be even more. I mean, what's more frustrating, having a problem in the beginning of the run or having a problem at the end of the run?
I feel like in the beginning of the run is a little bit better because you don't have all this stuff that you'd already landed, you know, and thrown it away for nothing. He had 2 great tricks already under his belt. He threw it away on the 3rd one, but at least it wasn't the last feature where he's like, look how much I accomplished, and then boom, there it goes.
Well, we've seen that happen. We've seen it happen to the biggest name in all of free riding. That's Brandon Semenuk. We've seen him have trouble on that last one, and I think you're right on that. It seems like it's harder to wash that out of your head when you do it on the last jump or the last.
Yeah, plus you don't have to hike up as far if you mess up on the 3rd feature. It looks like he's so close to the top that he's like, you know what? I'm just going to get up here, start preparing in my head for that second run.
Yeah, exactly. Head right back up there, and he'll be ready to go for a second and final run for Mr. Sam Pilgrim. All right. Time to check in. 3rd member of our team. Let's send it downstairs to Tina Dixon. Tina?
Yeah, thanks so much, Brad. Just a quick update on what happened from yesterday to this morning. For all of you that showed up bright and early, you know that the rain came and Mother Nature had her own way with this event yesterday. But 6 a.m., bright and early this morning, the course workers were up there working on the jumps, working on the berms, and they actually have these torches that they take and dry out all the wood to get the course nice and ready. Now, most of it was naturally dry, and practice started at 8:30, and from talking to the riders, they say it is perfect and in great condition. So let's get back to the event. Brad?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Tina, good job down there. Hey, listen, though, these guys, the course workers and the people who do such an amazing job here at the Whistler Bike Park and what they have done, I mean, there was a lot of rain that fell down yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff you got to do to dry it out, but yeah, best guys for the job right there, the Joyride Bike Parks crew.
Well, next up, the Frenchman right here, Yannick Granieri. All game right now. Here we go. Yannick Granieri, if you look at what he's done, 7th place last year, 8th out in France. And here we go for YT Industries and Red Bull. This is Yannick Granieri.
Yannick Granieri's been meaning business this year. Coming out with that chest protector right now. 360 off the start drop to start things off here. Tail up off that up box. He's got good speed in the step up. What's it going to be? Cork 720. And he lands it perfect. Oh, man, he's off to a great start here. Now we're into the 4-pack. Backflip, tail whip. Perfect landing, carrying speed, grabbing a pedal. Backflip, seat grab, Indian air.
Wow.
No way. I have not seen him do that yet. Off the cannon, getting that tuck no-hander. Oh, classic Yannick Granieri style with the flat spin X up on that hip. Into the Joyride cabin, backflip up top. And a tail whip down.
Nice. And he's got one more to go, the Kokanee Whale Tail. Here comes Yannick Granieri. What's he got here on the final jump?
Bar spin in, and a truck driver down because he got the bars. Oh, man, we talked about bar spins earlier. Fumbling with the bars on that 360 bar spin.
Obviously very shaken up off that one right there. Yannick Granieri just putting down such a solid run, top to bottom, and just getting a little over-rotated on that one. So you can see Reynolds going right up to make sure that he is okay. So definitely got a pretty good head slap out of that one. So talking Darren Kennard right there, making sure he knows he's in Whistler. All good. And seeing him wear the chest protector, we've not seen him come out with a chest protector. This is the first time I've seen him wear protection like this. All right, I'll tell you what, let's look at the highs and the lows of this last run. Look at Yannick, he's okay. He's one tough customer, that's
And that was full circle. We were talking in Sam's run about how he threw it away on the 3rd feature and how much better that is in your head for throwing away on the last one. And then Yannick, unfortunately, let's take a look back at the highs and lows of this run. High point was obviously this Cork 720. We saw Sam mess it up, but Yannick absolutely perfect on that Cork 720. Then, of course, where everything went wrong, the low point of this run right here, 360 bar spin out, fumbling the bars, almost recovering, but landing a little sideways, and thank goodness he was wearing that chest protector, full face helmet. He hit the ground pretty hard, Brad.
Yeah, that was a body slap, head slap right there out of him. But Yannick, like I said, one tough dude, so he's going to get up from that one. That score is going to be a 50.4. That'll find his way into that 7th spot right there. And if you want to know what's going on so far, your top 5, Paul Genovese in that 5th spot. You got Mehdi Ghani holding it down. You can see him right there in that 4th spot. Watts 3rd, Reynolds number 2, and Lemoine on top of the game with an 81.2. And he is your leader right now, as we'll take all of our attention back up top for our next competitor. And this guy can do it. Think about it last year. Barely missing the podium. Ended up in 4th place last year, but you know he's hungry for a 1st place finish out here.
Absolutely, just continuing to build every single season. So consistent, adding new tricks to his bag every event.
Well, here we go. Overall ranking on the FMB Diamond Series, he's in 4th. 4th last year at Joyride. Can he get up in the top 3 this year? Put your hands together for Canada's very own Logan Pete.
Logan Pete starting off with a 360 down that start drop, moving right into the up box with an opposite 360, balancing things out. On that step-up jump, a 720.
Oh, look at the rotation on that.
Connecting perfect to that landing, getting exactly 720 degrees there. Going for backflip on that first jump. What's he got on the second one? Was that a tuck no-hander to tail up, it looked like, getting the combination.
Judges liking to see the combos.
Off the cannon, we got a 360
nice.
For Logan Pete. Ooh, backflip tail up on the hips. I've never seen anybody do that on that hip. Joyride cabin for Logan Pete. Backflip tuck no-hander up. Opposite 360 down.
Nice. Over to the snail berm, so this is going to set him up for one more. The Kokanee Whale Tail for Logan Pete.
Look like bar spin in, backflip, tuck, no-hander out.
Bam! That's what you want right there.
Such a good run, tricking everything. I think it was a bar spin in. It might have been a one-footed X up, but man, getting that combo out is exactly what the judges want to see.
Well, and a lot of people talk about Logan Pete could definitely win this thing. It's not one of those guys where you say, oh, yeah, he's good enough. He can get up in the top 5 or something like that. But Logan Pete's a guy that could win this thing.
It was such a balanced run, too. If you look how many times he was doing the opposite spin on some of those more difficult features and then flip whipping that hip. Such a good way to put together that run.
Cam, let's check these replays here, Logan.
So this 720 right here, so smooth. There was no herky-jerkiness into the rotation, just smooth spinning, 720 degrees. This was one of my favorite points right here. It's way harder to trick a hip than it is a straight jump. He does a backflip tail up, one of the bangers.
Yeah, because it's a transfer. When you're tricking a hip like that, you're transferring to a different side. It's not just a straight jump.
You got to think about landing the right direction as well. It's not a straight landing.
So Logan Pete. Well, judges taking their time. And the reason the judges take their time in this, they always want to make sure, I've talked to Paul Rack about this whole thing, it's about making sure the riders get put in the right place. So does he have enough to beat the 81-2 of Thomas Lemoine? Score coming in. Here it's going. 85, your new leader, just like that. Logan Pete from 4th place last year to the top of the heap this year.
Oh, I love the look on his face. He sees that number 1 by his name, and he's like, all right.
You can see Reynolds right there already congratulating him, saying good job there. Your top 3, well, there's Reynolds right there. He's holding out. Great Britain in 3rd. Thomas Lemoine now bumped into 2nd, an 81.2. And Logan Pete, nicely done, Logan, on the top spot with an 85 in that number 1 position right now after run number 1. And I said it's a confidence builder getting an 81 on your first run, but what kind of a confidence builder do you get with an 85?
Oh, man, we are into it now. We're seeing 80s, scores in the 80s, and it just keeps building.
All right, now Anthony Missouri coming up. We had a chance to catch up to him early, and here's what he said about focusing for a big competition like this.
Just trying to focus on myself, you know. I just want to make myself stoked, and I think, you know, that's what works best for me. If I just, you know, have something set, goals that are realistic in my mind, and you know, that I want to do, and, you know, not generally thinking about all the other riders and the people watching, and just do it for myself, and that tends to work.
Well, I'll tell you what, it has worked for him because this guy made a name for himself out here. You look back to 2011, that's when he was just 15 years old. He came out here, he busted out, he dropped the 3rd place finish, and then ended up last year, another 3rd place finish. 2 podiums so far. Doing it for Morpheus from Canada. Let's hear it for Anthony Missouri.
Well, he's already started this run. He bar spun into that little downslope, into the start drop. On the start drop, it's a tail whip for Anthony Missouri. Oh, dumped out truck driver 360 bar spin on that up box. Front flip tuck no-hander on that step up.
Wow.
Reminiscent of last year, he's on a tear. Bar spin out of that shark fin into the 4-pack. Woo, backflip double bar spin on the first jump. Backflip tail up classic, Anthony Missouri. Stop. Holding on to it, coming up slightly short. There we go, into the cannon, getting that speed. Double tail up off the cannon. Holy cow. Classic flat spin.
Here he comes. Anthony Missouri, 2 podiums so far. Joyride. Up.
Backflip bar spin up.
Down.
360.
Nice. Over the snail berm, so this leaves him 1 more to go for Anthony Missouri here. Up the whale tail.
Suicide no-hander in, and a backflip tail about. Oh, he fumbled. Oh, man, he was going for broke on that run. Thank goodness for full-face helmets, huh? Look at that.
Yeah.
If you drop an ant from a high place, he's going to land smooth. So thank goodness Anthony Missouri falling from a really high place, hitting the ground hard. But, man, getting up so quick. What a tough dude.
Yeah, 90 pounds soaking wet. Anthony Missouri, but coming out on that one. And it looks like he is okay. If anything, he's visibly shaken up after that. I love to see the crowd just get behind all the riders out here. Let's take a look at here, the replays of Missouri.
All right, so just like he did last year, he's hitting that step-up jump with a front flip tuck no-hander so high. When he does those front flips, he goes to the moon. And here's that backflip tail up down. Oh, it looks like he was just a little under on the flip rotation. The bike didn't connect with his feet in time to be able to pull around and get it to the landing. And this bike just attacking him on the way down the hill.
Wow. Yeah, you got to look at it this way. I mean, obviously that score is not going to put him up in the top of the mix because you had the mistake right there. But a guy who's in the #1 spot is standing by with Tina Dixon right now. Let's send it downstairs to Tina. Tina?
And Logan is our current leader. Logan, give us your assessment of what you were able to do on that first run.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. Missed a few things, but you got a second run. It's awesome to get at the bottom in one piece, and can't wait to get up there.
You live with Brandon, you train with Brandon. What was it like for you guys leading up to this event?
Yeah, lots of practice. You know, we knew about the course months in advance, so you can kind of plan your tricks on the features and just basically hard work.
All right, well, you got another run. Best of luck, guys.
Man, he kind of picks himself apart right there. I think he's pretty solid with that 85. He's like, there's a couple things I could do. These guys are perfectionists, Cam.
Well, he rides with Brandon, the captain of all perfectionism, and he rides with him, trains with him on the course. Like you said, he knew the course layout ahead of time, so they've been just thinking about this moment for a long time now.
So how we're looking right now, Greg Watts, #4, Sam Reynolds, #3, Thomas Lemoine, #2, and Logan Pete, the #1 spot. All right, coming up for you right now, Nikolai Gakuen. First off, let me just say, it was only about 2-3 years ago when I first saw him in a competition, had no idea who he was. He had won BMX Worlds, and nobody really knew anything about Nikolai Gakuen. He's come out, he's gotten some finishes. In fact, 2nd place in Rotorua, and he's ready to do things in a big way out here in Crankworx. Here we go, our next rider from the U.S. Get loud and proud for Nikolai Gakuen.
Nikolai, a fast plant 360. Wow. That's a new one for him. Double tail up off the up box, man. Front flip bar spin on that step up.
Nice.
Man, those first 3 tricks are already putting him in. There we go, bar spin out of that shark fin. Cork 720 on the first jump. I have a feeling what he wants here. Oh, there it is, the cash roll on the second jump. Oh, those 2 tricks linked right back to back. You gotta be kidding me.
Could this be the run that Nikolai's looking for?
Oh, no. Oh, just judging the speed wrong on that cannon coming up short. Oh, that was starting out so good, Brad.
Holy crap. Look at him still running. He is charged up like the Energizer Bunny right there.
Look at that. He fell, he hit the ground. He's immediately sprinting back to his bike. I feel like he wishes he could just go back up and start his second run right now.
Well, he is such a consummate professional, and he knows what he can do. It looks like he got a flat on that. Yeah, look at the tire.
Oh, that's why he didn't have the speed there. No air in the tire.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the thumbs down on the tire, but you know what? Nikolai Gakuen will try to regroup, and you think about that 2nd place finish at Crankworx Rotorua. That was a big surprise out there. I mean, not to me. I know the guy. I know the guy could win any one of these competitions, but right now Nikolai's gonna have to focus on run #2, Cam.
I can't wait to take a look back at this replay because the first 2 tricks were a highlight reel. This 4-pack, you gotta be kidding me. Cork 720 landing perfect on the first one, and then I love seeing him linking it right into that cash roll. These are 2 tricks that are 720-degree variations right there, but he's doing them on separate axes, just showing a lot of just a well-rounded gymnast, really.
So his tire was already flat going up that last element right there.
He landed slightly sideways on that cash roll, and it probably leaked out in that berm and didn't have enough speed to hit that cannon.
Yeah. Well, it could have been much worse for him right there, but one thing is, he was on point, and you know what? Talking to him earlier today, he's focused 100% on the task at hand, and that's what he is trying to do. Well, so far we've seen pretty much most of all the riders, but there are 3 more riders yet to go, and this guy right here, you shared the podium with him back in 2012. That was the win that put him on the map. Remember, he was wearing the green helmet, and now he's got the Red Bull helmet, so he has moved on up. Tommy G we're talking about.
Yeah, Thomas Jinan, he's the last guy not named Brandon Semina to stand on the top 7 of the podium in this contest for the last couple years.
Oh, my gosh. You are right on that one. And Tommy G's so consistent this year. He's in 2nd for the FMB Diamond Series, too. Well, here we go. A 2012 Joyride champion. Here we go from Belgium, doing it for Canyon Bikes. This is Tommy G, Thomas Jinan.
There we go. Thomas Jinan starting out with an opposite 360 drop. A regular truck driver, 360 bar spin on that up box. Cork 720 on the step up. Gosh, the casual consistency of this guy is insane.
Oh, tricks it.
Tuck no hander out of that shark fin. Backflip bar spin to tuck no hander on the first jump of the 4-pack. Oh, there's the style. 360 flat invert on that second jump there.
Kind of casing that just a little bit, trying to keep that speed.
360 tuck no hander on the cannon. Double tail up on the hip, holding things together.
So up the cabin now.
We got a suicide no-hander on.
Down the
and a
cabin.
flat drop flip.
Nice!
That's a new one for Tommy G this year.
So he's got one more to go through the snail berm, setting up for the whale tail. Tommy G.
Going bar spin into the whale tail. There we go, 360. Oh, he held on. That was scary right there.
You might want to check your shorts on that one.
You can see him straighten up. He knew as soon as he took off, he was over-rotating. He opened up, tried to make himself bigger, slow the rotation, was able to hold on and roll that thing through the finish line.
There's not much you can do there, but trying to slow the rotation, like you're saying, open yourself up, maybe slow that rotation down so you don't over-rotate.
This sport is getting more and more like gymnastics every day, and that's what they do. They try to make themselves bigger, increase the rotational inertia, slow it down, and you know, he knew exactly where he was. He's got that air awareness.
Let's take a look at the replays here. Tommy G going to work in his office.
So much to highlight here on this replay. This Cork 720, every single trick that Thomas Jinan does is just bolts. Lands it straight, no head bob. Here it is. This is where he held onto it here on that last step down on the whale tail. Yeah, you know, that was almost reminiscent of 2012 when he blew out his tire each run, but he was able to hold on to that thing and keep the PSIs in there.
Why does he look so calm?
Because he's Thomas Jinan.
Tommy G, the calmest, coolest dude out, man.
That's the way he does it.
Yeah, and once again, taking that big win. Didn't know much about him back in 2012, but after he took that win in Joyride. All right, score coming in. Tommy G, where's he going to go? Can he get up in the top 5 here? Top 3, what's it say? 71.8, so 4th place for Tommy G right there. All right, now we've been talking about the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown is you have to win all 3 stops on the Crankworx World Tour. Not just finish the best of everyone else, but win all 3. And Bret Reader has been perfect so far. He has won it in Crankworx Rotorua. He came to Crankworx France. He won that one. So it's coming up to this one. But the next guy coming up is looking to spoil the party. And if anyone can spoil the party, a 3-time Joyride winner can spoil that party.
Just seeing Brandon Semina getting ready, getting his bike all set up in the start gate. It makes the hair stand up on my arms. I get goosebumps. This is really happening, Brad.
So once again, last year, if we rewind the clock to a year ago, this was the man who did what no one has ever done at Red Bull Joyride and come away with 3 wins. That's 3 wins. And not only that, he has had 6 podiums on Joyride. He's looking for a 7th, trying to get his 4th win. Here he comes from Squamish. Let's hear it for the local boys, Brandon Semina.
Brandon Semina starting out, opposite truck driver on the start drop. 360 downside whip off the up box. Backflip double tail up on the step up. This is a Brandon Semina trademark run right here. Bar spin out of the shark fin into the 4-pack. Cork 720 on the first jump.
Perfect.
Landing so smooth. And a backflip tail up to 1-footed can on the second jump. Oh man, we saw that in his movie part. Backflip bar spin on the cannon, such a new move. Another one he dumped out in his movie part. Double tail whip on that hip.
Okay,
this is
setting up for the cabin.
Cabinet's gonna be, oh man, double truck up, flat drop flip down.
So over to the snail berm. 1 more to go for Brandon Semina. Can we hear you people?
Coming in so fast, bar spin in. Cork 720 down, can he get it? He lands it!
He gets it! The final trick, that was the one that has been his Achilles heel in the past, but not today. Brandon Semina coming out with a solid one right there.
Oh man, if there's anything possible smoother than his run last year, it was what we just saw there.
Damn, son. Holy crap. Things just got serious out here today. Man. All right. Look, you know what? We could just show 1 jump on this run, but we need to take a look at this whole entire run of Brandon Semina right now. That was freaking amazing.
That was a masterpiece. The same way Paul McCartney writes a beautiful song, Brandon Semina composed that run right there. An opposite truck driver down, a 360 downside whip on the up box. Here was that backflip double tail. We saw him do it last year. He brings it again this year.
Oh my God. And then you don't see a lot of people tricking the shark fin.
He bars from the shark fin. Of course, he corked 720 that first jump. Rolling right into this. We haven't seen this in a contest yet. Backflip tail up to 1-footed can. Squeezing out another trick as if a backflip tail up isn't enough.
Isn't enough. Yeah, let me show you my combo.
We saw the backflip bar spin off the cannon. In Revel in the Chaos, he's bringing it to Joyride. Double tail up on the hip. And then it was all about the cannon here. Look at this, suicide double truck up. Just a casual flat drop flip off, looking so easy for Brandon Semenek, getting that bar spin into that snail berm.
This is the one you always want to watch him on this last feature.
Look at how fast he rotated that Cork 720 and how smooth he landed. That was exactly the way he pictured it in his head. That was insane.
And a double high five from the crew right there. All right. Will it be enough to beat Logan Pete's 85? Score coming in for Brandon Semenek. Has he done it? Say hello to your new leader, a 93.8 on his first run for Brandon Semenek. He means business. 3 wins as a Joyride champ, trying to make it 4. Let's send it down to Tina Dixon with more. Tina, wow.
And what a statement, Brandon, you just made with that first run. Give us your impression of it.
Thanks. That was, I'm just so happy I made it to the bottom. I just want to run because the last couple of contests have been struggling, but that was pretty good. And hopefully it'll hold up, and I got another run.
Pretty good. It was a 93, and you have the support of the crowd. Do you feel like you have a home turf advantage here in Whistler?
I got lots of fans behind me, which is great. But besides that, I'm just doing what everyone else is doing, trying my best.
Focusing on the job. Best of luck next run, guys.
All right, well, let me just throw this out right now. Okay, so he got to 93.8. Don't forget what happened last year. Now, when it came down to Bret Reader on his first run, he posted up a 94-something right there. So he'd already beat a 93.8. So we all know Reader could put something mid-90s, maybe even upper 90s if Reader lands his run.
We're basically seeing a mirror image of how things shook down last year. Last year, Brandon watched Bret's run. This year, Bret just watched Brandon's run, and now he's got to make a plan.
Exactly. Turnabout is fair play, and that's exactly like Cam just said. That is what happened last year. It was Bret Reader who came out and put down the 94, and it was then Brandon Semenek that came out and eclipsed that one. And Reader looking for his first ever win here at Joyride here in Whistler. And also, he is absolutely perfect for the Triple Crown. He won at Crankworx Rotorua. He took another big win when he went to France for Crankworx France. Here we go. First run from Canada for Trek C3. Get loud for Bret Reader.
Bret Reader, flat drop, one-footed can flip. Oh, there it is, the opposite 360 bar spin to bar spin back, and a front flip bar spin, starting things off with a classic Bret Reader style. Bar spin out of that shark fin. What's the 4-pack gonna be? Oh, back flip, oh! Going down on the flip, double whip.
And he took a tough one right there. Bret Reader obviously shaken up.
Man, Bret knowing what he had to do. He's been doing that trick in practice. It is a new one for him, the backflip double tail whip.
Well, now the one thing that he has done this year, he has secured the overall series for Slopestyle at Crankworx on the World Tour. So he can't be beat on that one. But it's the Triple Crown and also the first Joyride win is what he's trying to get. All right, let's take a look at the replays here, Cam.
So here's where it went wrong. It was the backflip double tail whip coming up short by the front wheel and, man, taking it the whole thing to the body right there in the middle of the landing. Another angle here, Brad. Yeah, that.
Yeah, to the shoulder, to the arm.
I know exactly how hard the dirt is right there when you fall in that jump. What an animal getting back up and climbing up to the top of that landing right now. Giving a wave to the crowd. They love this guy so much. He loves them right back, and he's just doing his best to put on an amazing show for everybody out here today.
You just wish the best for him. Here we go. He's going to finish things off right now.
Man, I can't, wow! I can't believe he's back on his bike. Flip bar in the cannon, double truck driver in the hip. Man, he fell, and I was just hoping he'd be able to do a second run. I didn't expect him to hop back on and ride down to the bottom of the course right away.
And here he goes through the snail berm. Probably going to take it easy here on the whale tail here since he knows he's got one more to go here.
Oh, man, bar spin to bar spin back into it. If that's any sense of what we're going to see in his second run, man, I can't even tell you how I'm excited just to see that he's still riding because, you know, we're going to see him back up there for run 2.
Yeah, there was one situation, like when he had that crash, I was like, well, I didn't even think he was going to be able to get back up. And he got right back up, and he went down and just kind of get a little more, like almost like a little bit more practice in. Well, remember, you and I were talking to him earlier, and he said they have not got a lot of practice on that last whale tail. And checking the carnage right there for Bret Reader. What a solid dude, man. What an amazing season he has been having all year long. Bret Reader will have to look to a second run for him. But like you said, Cam, didn't even think he was going to get back up, and then he decides to come back down and just kind of finish that run off.
Now we're thinking ahead. We're thinking of run 2. Sometimes you have a little bit of fall. It's just all the nerves go away. You got your adrenaline going. You just feel fresh. Hopefully, by the time he gets back up there for his second run, he's just raring to go.
Is it like a clean slate or something like that? You got the stack out of the way. You went down like, okay, shrug that off. I'm going to make things happen on my second run.
It definitely gets the blood flowing for sure.
So the 36.6, obviously, that's one he's going to want to toss away and look to improve on that. Well, let's take a look at how things are playing out here regarding the scores so far today. You can see Martin Soderstrom coming on in there and telling him good luck on a second run. There you go. Your top 5, Tommy G, number 5 spot. Sam Reynolds, number 4. Thomas Lemoine in that 3rd spot. And Logan Pete right there, number 2. Brandon Semenuk in the number 1 spot with a 93.8. And that's only run number 1. Cam, we still got run number 2 for all the riders.
And everybody knows what Brandon just showed, and they know the bar is set real high. Just that run by Brandon is such a classic Brandon run. It's when you see something like that, you got to think, how many times can the same guy blow so many minds on the same hillside?
But I also wanted to say this, and I've told you this, I told you yesterday, and I told you this again today. I feel that Brandon Semenuk is very dangerous today because he has nothing to lose here. I mean, last year, all the pressure was on Brandon Semenuk. Okay, fast forward 2015, all the pressure is on Bret Reader, not on Semenuk. He's able to kind of relax, have fun, and do his thing. And look, it puts him in the top with a 93.8.
It's true. He's the only one that is so familiar with this territory, this nerve-wracking situation of Joyride. And, you know, that run just goes to show that he's comfortable here.
All right. Well, all right. Let's talk about tricks versus style. Tricks versus style. You want to know a little bit more about that? Well, take a look at this. It's all about tricks versus style. Check it out.
There's definitely a difference between riders that have style versus riders that have lots of tricks.
You don't want to just be clicking the tail whip button and, you know, being a robot.
What a triple tail!
I think style is something that defines someone as a rider.
For slopestyle, it's obviously important to have style, but you need the tricks to win too.
That being said, like having to train for these slopestyle contests, it's basically hard to ride the way that you want because it's not always that you want to like do flip double whips and flip whips and front flips all the time.
You got to be fluid and consistent with your tricks, but also like give it that special touch that's kind of got like a wow factor, you know? Like you want to do that trick and it just looks that much better than the other guy's trick. So definitely put the style on slopestyle.
I'll tell you what, things are definitely getting crazy out here. It's a 2-run format, so we've seen run number 1 from all the competitors. Brandon Semenuk, he's in that top spot right now. We saw the problems for Bret Reader on that first run, but he's a guy who can definitely shake it off and get back there and make things happen on a second run. Well, let's check in with the 3rd member of our team. She's standing by with a very special guest. Let's send it down to Tina Dixon. Tina.
And I think it says a lot about Bret Reader, Bret, that you picked yourself up and finished your run. What were you telling yourself right after that fall?
I don't know. I haven't fallen all season, so it's about time, I guess. It just sucks that it was my first run at Red Bull Joyride.
And you're coming into this event, though, after 2 wins. You know what it takes. You have the experience. So what's key for you as an athlete to go back up and refocus for the second run?
I don't know. There's a couple spots on the course that are a little hard to judge speed, so yeah, I don't know. I just got to get a little more speed out of that SRAM wall.
Well, you've got one more run. Best of luck, Bret. Guys?
All right, well, we haven't heard from Hannah Bernard in a while. I think we need to check in with Hannah and see what's going on. Let's send it down to her right now. 4th member of our team, Hannah Bernard. Hannah.
Hey, thanks very much, guys. Well, I'm up here with the guy that has the best seat in the house, Paul Rack, head judge here at Red Bull Joyride 2015. Now, we've seen every guy on that list come down for run number 1. Some of the guys not having the performance that they wanted, obviously going into run number 2, wanting some redemption. What are you going to have to see from those guys in order for them to get on top of the podium?
Pretty much they got to trick every feature on this course and do almost the most difficult tricks they can to pretty much get on the box or bump out Brandon Semenuk.
And now we've had a lot of talk. There's 13 trickable features on this course. How important is it for them to trick every single hit?
Absolutely. At this level, you need to hit every feature, trick every feature, and maybe throw in an extra combo.
And now a topic that you are not familiar with at all, Brandon and Bret. Now, obviously, Brandon coming out with that first run with a stellar performance, ending up with a 93. We saw Bret have a crash in run number 1. You're familiar with Bret's style. What are you going to need to see from him in order to get on top of the podium and claim that Triple Crown victory?
Well, I think he's going to throw what he has, and sometimes he's got something else left in the bag that we still haven't seen. So I think I hope it does, and I hope it's going to be a great show.
All right, well, you're a busy guy. I'll let you get back to it. Runs number 2 coming up next. Guys, back up to you.
I love how Paul Rack handles that right there. The judges are almost like politicians, the way they handle it so well right there. We're trying to like pick into it and trying to find a little bit more of it. So what they do is they re-rack them, and so this is going to change things up, right, Cam?
Yeah, absolutely. The guys who had the lowest scoring runs are going to drop in first. You see Sam Pilgrim starting it off. He fell down on that third feature and decided to go back up to the course rather than ride down. So it goes down from there. We'll see Thomas Zeta, Cam Zink, Nikolai Gakuen, and of course, rolling through the list there, I'm excited to see Torquato Testa as well, dropping in 10th.
Well, then you got to look at Brandon Semenuk. What's going to happen here is Brandon Semenuk is going to get the last shot at it, because since he's got the best score so far, Brandon Semenuk will go last. So will it be a victory lap for him, or will he be eclipsed by somebody else and he'll look to play catch up? You know, this is all going to play out here. Run number 2 is coming up. Before we get to that, let's get an update from Tina Dixon on the new start list. Tina, what's going on?
Well, I'm actually down here with Tom van Steenburgen. We saw him do that giant front flip off the cabin drop. First of all, how are you holding up? How are you feeling right now?
My shoulder's a bit sore. I can't really move it too much, but I'm all right. I don't think I broke anything, but I don't think I'll be doing a second run, so kind of sucks.
You're really good friends with Bret Reader. What do you think is going on in his mind right now?
He's probably just gonna try and what he did this the first run, but obviously land it. I don't know.
You're confident he's going to land it?
He'll land it, yeah, for sure.
All right, there you guys go. Second runs are coming up next.
All right, that's my boy Steenburgen down there in the mix. And I mean, you're in the movie with him, Unreal, and that front flip that he unleashes in Unreal is unreal.
Well, it's wild seeing how much of a gladiator that dude is. Anybody else hitting the ground that hard, they'd be, you know, going and nursing their wounds. But he's just like, you know, I'm probably not that hurt. You know, I'll be back soon.
All right, well, this guy right now, he had all smiles on his face when he first showed up for that first run. Things didn't go his way, but now it looks like a little more of the game face has entered into Sam Pilgrim's face now. He knows he's down in 18th. He's going to try and climb up that leaderboard. All right, well, here we go right now. Third at Joyride in 2013. 5th in France Crankworx, and here he comes. It's Sam Pilgrim.
Well, watch how far he gets behind that bike right there to initiate that flat drop backflip. He's the first person to do it a few years ago, getting that 360X up, turning the bars halfway around. There it is, the Cork 720. He gets it that time, going upside down and spinning 720 degrees into the 4-pack. Backflip tuck, no-hander. Backflip tail up on the second one. He's making it all the way down the course this time, Brad. I'm feeling it.
Here we go, Sam Pilgrim keeping it going.
On the cannon, getting that flip off of that no radius takeoff. Looked like he was transferring that 360 right there, going from one takeoff to the other landing.
Yeah, just a slight case up the cabin.
We got a tail whip up on top of the cabin, a 360 down.
Over to the snail berm. Here we go. One more to go for Sam Pilgrim. Second and final run up the whale tail.
Sam Pilgrim, tuck no hander up, backflip table down. He made it from top to bottom.
I mean, right now, Cam, how big of a relief that is. You're all the way in last place. You come out there, second and final run, and you land a run.
Well, also, it was all on the line, too. He had the lowest score out of that first run, so basically nothing to fall back on. So the fact that he was able to put down a clean one with a lot of bangers in it, actually, he's got to be stoked.
We'll take another look at him here, but talk a little bit about this run here, Cam.
So look at this. He fixed it the last time.
Oh, look at that. The head direction change.
You know, he's got to spot his landing early, so he's upside down. He's trying to keep that chin pinned to the shoulder, so he's able to do what gymnasts do and get that rotation. And he fixed his mistakes from last run, was able to make it to this 4-pack finally. He had that flip whip on that second one. And, of course, on that cannon, doing another flat takeoff backflip. He's the guy who invented that a few years ago. Now you see a ton of riders doing it.
You know what I like is now he got the smile back. Up top before he dropped in on that second run, he wasn't smiling up there because, you know, it's serious business when it comes down to it, and you're trying to focus and put down a run that you're trying to do.
Yeah, he gave himself something to smile about now. It's great.
So they go in reverse order, so he had the lowest score, so that's why he was the one to go first. He had 10.2 on run number 1, and you know it's going to be improvement. How much of an improvement here for run number 2? And he will climb up there into 8th spot with a 62 for Sam Pilgrim. That's a top 10 right there if that holds up. Woohoo! All right, so next up, Thomas Zeta. What do you know about Tom Zeta?
Well, Thomas Zeta, it's so fun to watch him progress on the scene. He goes to more contests than a lot of the riders, and his technique is very unique. He's got a lot of tricks that he can pack into just one air, and he's also got this style that he puts on his tail-ups as well. You'll see him wearing this shirt right here. It's a picture of him with his signature style doing that tail-up. You don't see anybody getting their legs that far behind them while the bike is backwards.
Well, here we go in 18th place, looking to improve on that. 6th in the FMB Diamond Series, 9th last year here at Joyride. This is Thomas Zeta.
Let's see if we can see that signature Thomas Zeta style, starting off with a 360 down the start drop. And that 360 tail up, nobody else is doing that on the up box. Backflip tail up, there we go. Landing sideways, but this time his tire's staying on. Thank goodness we're gonna see him continue this run here. We got the 4-pack, 360 on the first jump, and that double tail up so smooth on that second jump.
And a perfect landing on that.
Here's where it went wrong before. The cannon, 360 table. He lands straight this time, fixed that mistake. We got that classic Thomas Zeta style on that Superman tail up over the hip.
All right, up the cabin, what's he got?
Up the cabin, it's a bar spin and a 360 down.
So that's gonna set him up here for the snail berm, and he's gonna have one more to go. Here's the whale tail for Thomas Zeta.
Bar spin into the whale tail and a 360 X up. Classic Thomas Zeta style rolling through that finish line.
And Zeta, yeah, arm in the air. Got to be pumped on that one.
Just in time for that sun to pop. It looks like it's turning into a nice day. And Thomas Zeta, man, glowing bike, glowing sky. Everything went good for him on that run.
You go from being so nervous before your first run of the day to finishing your second run. That's got to be such a big relief, especially when you're in one piece.
You know, he's got to be stoked. He's done for the day. He did his job. Let's take a look back at the replay. 360 in that first jump in the 4-pack. And then look how smooth he is on this double tail up. His body's chilling, his bike's whipping around, connecting to those pedals.
So a 19.4 was the score that he had when he had the problem on run number 1. And Paul Rack and the judges taking their time. And the reason they take their time, they want to make sure that they're putting the riders in the correct position. So that's why you see them taking just a little bit more time. So 19.4, that was run number 1. There we go, into 6th place, a 69.2 for Thomas Zeta, and he is happy that he is done for the day. So let's take a look at how things are looking right now for your top 3. Thomas Lemoine in that 3rd spot, 81.2, 85 for Logan Pete, number 2, and Brandon Semenuk, your leader, with a 93.80. And now let's focus back up top. Let's take all of our attention to a 2-timer club member. And I'm talking about Cam Zink. There he is, all red, white, and blued out here today.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of guys fix their mistakes from their first run. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Cam Zink does the exact same thing.
Well, here we go. As I said, 2-time Joyride winner. Coming in hot, second in final run. Put your hands together for the legend that is Cam Zink.
Cam Zink has that flat drop flip, and this year he's landed right on that landing. 360 X up off the up box. He's already improving on this run right now. Backflip 1-footed X up on the step up. Now he's coming into that 4-pack. Getting speed out of that shark fin and going backflip through man grab again. Oh no, once again getting hung up with that rotation. Man, he had the speed that time. His body made it to the landing. It looked like a lack of rotation on the backflip side of things. He was completely extended with that Superman seat grab. Just not able to bring the whole thing around and get back on the bike.
Well, an unfortunate turnabout for Cam Zink out here. That's going to end his day. At least he is in one piece. Put your hands together for Cam Zink, the legend, 2-time winner at Joyride, as he makes his way to the top of this landing area.
You know, the main thing about Cam Zink is he's out here to put on a show for the crowd. So, yeah, his chance at winning this event for the 3rd time may be ruined, but he's going to put on a show and ride the rest of this course.
And this one's for the fans out here. You're seeing a legend right here, Cam Zink, finishing off his second and final run after the fall.
Look at the crowd, listen to the crowd. They truly love this guy. He's been putting on a show for so many years. The winner in 2006, repeated it 4 years later in 2010. He's a legend on the Boneyard Slope.
And here he goes up the whale tail.
Love it.
Yeah, gonna goon it out there at the end. He comes across. You guys know what to do, Whistler. Put your hands together for the legend that is Cam Zink. Well, so that's going to do it for Cam Zink. And as we move down this adjusted start list, next up is going to be Nikolai Gakuen. Now, he was down there in the mix, but he had that fall, so that puts him as the fourth guy to come in here today.
And you know that fall, that he didn't do anything wrong. That tire went out, and he needed that speed up that cannon. He wasn't able to get it. I can't wait to see him ride the entire course.
Yeah, and he was on point with that first run, but he had a little bit of problem, and I'll show you what we're looking at.
So here it was. This link was the highlight of that run. It was the Cork 720 right into that casserole, which is essentially a Cork 720 on a different axis. Here's when he realizes that there's no air in his tires. He still tries to tail up that cannon. Yeah. He's got a big combo in store for that
it's
thing.
It's almost like, I don't care if I got a flat, I'm going to go for this anyway.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure he knew the flat was there, but he was going to still try to make it all the way to the bottom without any air in his tire. He can do it this time, Brad. I'm feeling it.
Well, indeed, he can definitely do it, and he is ready and locked and loaded to make it happen. Right now, third overall in your FMB Diamond Series. He took a second place in Crankworx in Rotorua. Here he comes right now, second and final run for the U.S., Nikolai Gakuen.
Here's this new trick for Nikolai. It's the fast plant 360, going right into the double tail up off of the up box. Front flip bar spin, of course landing perfect on that step up. Getting the bar spin out of that shark fin, and here's the four-pack. This is where he feels right at home. Cork 720 once again. Can he land smooth on this casserole? Oh, yes. It looked perfect. I didn't see any dirt thrown up. He's still got air in his tire. Here we go. Tail whip to bar spin on the cannon. And a triple tail whip.
All right, here he goes up to the cabin.
Front flip tuck, no hander up the cabin. Can he hold it together? Tail whip down. This is insane.
Here we go to the snail berm. There's only one more to go to the whale tail for Nikolai Gakuen.
What's he got? Tuck, no hander up. And a backflip down. Stomped that run.
Oh my goodness. Oxygen here in the booth. Put your hands together for Nikolai Gakuen. I love the triple tail whip that he added to that run.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, I wasn't either. Oh my goodness. Nikolai Gakuen with one run to go. Had the flat tire on the first run, but not this time. I think he would have came down even if he would have had a flat tire. Let's take a look at the replays here, man, of Nikolai Gakuen.
Was that run stacked or what? This is the section of the course where his first run went wrong, but let's see how smooth he lands on this casserole. Completely perfect, keeping the air in that tire, and I knew he had this combo here in the cannon. And he did it under pressure. The tail to bar spin. I don't know how he squeezed it in at the last second. Same thing with his triple whip. How did he squeeze in that third whip at the last second?
You and I were ready to call that a double.
He almost threw it away right here. The front flip tuck no hander, landing so far, getting that tail up down.
Oh my goodness, right there. That was some good stuff. All right. He's trying to beat an 85. He's trying to beat a 93.8 for the top spot. The score coming in for Nikolai Gakuen on run number 2. What does it say? 90.4 into second place for Nikolai Gakuen. That would be his biggest finish ever here at Joyride if he's to stay in second place. Wow, I need some oxygen. Let's send it down to Tina Dixon. Tina.
And Nikolai, you just jumped from 17th to second. How redeeming is that run? It was stacked full of difficulty.
Oh, I no idea how nervous I was up there, messing up the first run because of the flat and having to do that casserole once again. But the support of Whistler, I had to send it and got it done, so couldn't feel better. So stoked.
Everyone down here was biting their nails as you finished off with that whale tail. What were you telling yourself there?
Probably the scariest backflip I've ever done, just please trying to hang on and, rolling through this finish corral, no better feeling.
What a great second run, guys.
Oh, my God. A great second run is an understatement for Nikolai Gakuen today. That was absolute bonkers. And to do it on your second run when all the pressure in the world is on your shoulders. He hasn't done good here at Joyride, but he has right now today posting up his first ever score at Joyride in the 90s count.
How awesome. He just says, you know, I'm in Whistler. I was ready to send it.
All right, so now Bret Reader is going to take a shot at it now. Remember, he won at Crankworx Rotorua. He won at Crankworx Les Deux Alpes. Took the win out there. So if he could win out here today, he would complete, that's right, the hat trick and take 3 wins, a Triple Crown winner. Here we go. Next up, second and final run from Canada for Trek C3. This is Bret Reader.
Bret Reader starting off once again at that flat drop backflip one-footed can. There we go, getting that opposite 360 bar spin to bar spin back, and that front flip bar spin, huge amplitude on that trick. Getting the bar spin out of the shark fin. Can he nail this? Backflip, double tail whip. He connects to the pedals. Oh, no, I think his tire might have blown out. Something happened in the bowl there in between the first and second jump on the 4-pack. There will be no Triple Crown in 2015 for Bret Reader.
Yeah, one of the big news things here, as we talked about it earlier today, is he is going to be the overall series winner for Slopestyle at Crankworx on the World Tour because of his first place in Rotorua at Crankworx in Rotorua, and then Les Deux Alpes getting that win out there. So no matter what happens out here, he is going to be the series Slopestyle champion for Crankworx for the first ever Crankworx World Tour as he makes his way to the top. I want everyone here in Whistler to put your hands together for that man right there. It's been an amazing run at it all year. Let's hear it for Bret Reader. Come on, Whistler.
So much pressure just building all year on this one guy. How much weight can one person hold on their shoulders? He was pushing himself, Brad. He had not had that trick all year, that backflip double tail up. He knew he needed it to put down an A run here to beat Brandon Semenuk. And he's doing it for the crowd here. His tire still has air in it. Doing the backflip bar up, the 360 down. True showman, Bret Reader, putting on a show for the crowd.
And here we go off the whale tail, and that is going to do it. As he makes his way down, let's show appreciation for an amazing season for that guy right there. One more diamond stop on the FMB. That's going to be Rampage, but he's going to finish it off, Bret Reader.
Well, it wasn't a victory lap for him today. We saw him take victory laps at the first 2 Crankworx stops. Today was a different story. But, man, he's got to be breathing fresh air that's done now.
And thanks for everyone joining us on Red Bull TV. If you want to check out things, don't forget about the Event Analyzer. If you want to take a look at any of the runs, the Event Analyzer on Red Bull TV got you covered. So here's how it's racking up right there. Logan Pete, number 3, and 85. Nikolai Gakuen just kind of slid his way up there in that second spot with a 90.4. And then Brandon Semenuk, 93.8 in the top spot. Now we go to Anthony Miseria. Once again, here's the guy that made a name for himself back in 2011. Not a lot of people knew him. He was 15 years old. He came out here to Crankworx, and he ended in 3rd place. Got 3rd place last year. He's got 2 podiums at Joyride. Can he make it a 3rd? Here he comes, having some fun, dropping it next second and final run for Anthony Miseria.
Only got a bar spin before the course even starts. He's starting out now with that tail up off the start drop. Oh, so much style. Oh, too much style on that dumped out 360 bar spin, looping out and sliding down the landing. You know, sometimes you just get too corked on that rotation and your front tire's too high. The axis of rotation just wasn't quite right. So when his rear wheel landed, his front tire was too far away from landing, and he wasn't able to grab that rear brake in time, and that rear wheel just spun right out from under him. Next thing it touched was his butt.
It's like you read my mind. I was going to ask you about the loop out, and you just kind of said it right there. Perfect, man. You read my mind, dude. Nicely done. All right, well, you talk about it a little bit, looping out. Let's take a look at here what happened with Anthony Miseria here on a second and final run.
So he's coming into this up box. He connects to the riding platform, gets really upside down to that 360, catches the bars, but there you go. You see it, the rear tire hitting first, the front tire not even touching the landing. Next thing to touch was his butt, and he slid right down like a kid in the playground.
It's a game of millimeters. I would say inches if you're in the U.S., but it's a game of millimeters out here, and right there, just getting away from him on that one. Once again, thanks for everybody joining us on Red Bull TV. This has been an amazing day. Get all your pictures in, too, as well. Hashtag Joyride 2015, hashtag Red Bull TV, and hashtag Crankworx. And if you want to check out the runs from all the competitors, check out the event analyzer. Got you covered right there, Red Bull TV style.
Well, take a look right here, Brad. It looks like Anthony Missouri also is going to put on a show for the crowd. He's climbing up onto that landing. Might ride through this course here for us.
That's the kind of person he is. He's not just going to walk it down. Anthony Missouri is going to come on down and finish this run off.
Yeah, it just gives the crowd an opportunity to thank these guys for going so hard for all of our entertainment. Flat spin 360 on the first, flat spin on the second. Classic Anthony Missouri. Off that cannon with some style. Just listen to the crowd, man. Even though he's not able to put this one down and land a big score, they're still so appreciative of how he's been giving it his all week.
And here he comes down, going to set it up for the snail berm and then wrap it up on the whale tail. And this will wrap things up. Second and final run. And a day of competition for Anthony Missouri. Oh.
Man, going corked flat spin out of that thing as well. You don't see that too often. You see a lot of 360s and a lot of flips, but going right in the middle on the axis there.
Well, Whistler, you know what to do. Let's hear it for Anthony Missouri. He's a two-time podiumist from Joyride. Not going to be the day today. But look for him in future comps and look for him next year for sure. So score in for him. It doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement, so he's going to keep the score that he has. Wait for that to come in. Yeah, so he's going to keep the 40.8. That's going to keep in that 15 spot. So a top 15 or a very good rider, just not able to put it together today, Anthony Missouri. So now we start looking at who's coming up. Louie Rebel on the way. Yannick Granieri on the way. Torquato Testa, who we've talked a lot about. But Louie Rebel is going to get the nod here in a second run. You got to like Louie Rebel, what he brings to the table out here.
Yeah, Louie Rebel, a well-rounded rider as well. He was in Rampage last year, his first time trying that. So definitely hopping on all bikes, trying out all disciplines.
Top 10 finish at Crankworx Rotorua, 10th place. Here we go. From France, Louie Rebel, second and final run for Louie.
Louie Rebel, tuck no hander off that up box, rolling into that step-up jump with a 360 tail up, getting right on those pedals, not casing, carrying the speed off the shark fin into that 4-pack. Flat spin 360 for Louie Rebel, putting his classic style on it. A cannonball to tuck no hander. Crazy combo.
Louie keeping it going here.
Going off the cannon, getting that backflip, landed long, but holding on so tight, no head bob. Tail up on that hip for Louie Rebel.
And up the cabin.
Up the cabin's an opposite 360, this time landing perfect and going regular 360 off, so just balancing everything out.
Oppo 3 up, regular 3 out, setting it up. Can he whale tail here for Louie Rebel?
Here's a whale tail, tuck no hander, and backflip tabletop down for Louie Rebel.
And you can see, it seems like you can just see the jubilation in these guys when they finish that run off. Like, okay, no matter what the score is, I'm happy to get her done there. Put your hands together for Louie Rebel. That's going to do it for him out here today. We'll wait for that score to come in. Louie Rebel finishing off his second and final run here today. And Louie was down there in that 14th spot. Had a 46.2 on run number 1, but cleaning things up on run number 2.
So one of the highlights of this run was his ability to go opposite on top of the cabin and regular off. This is not your neighborhood dirt jumps. So you see that in dirt jumps, it's really difficult there, but doing it on top of the cabin and off, definitely, that's why he's one of the top riders out here at Joyride.
Oh, he's got the fresh mo, too. He's looking older now. He's got that mustache rolling. All right.
He's very distinguished, Brad.
He's distinguished. There it is. So Louie Rebel waiting for the score to come in. Where does he jump up in the mix and he get up in the top 10? 46.2 on the first run. Run number 2, survey says 74.4 into 6th place for Louie Rebel. And that's one of those things, man. Just as higher that you can finish, the better you're going to do out there. And so whether you get 6, that's very respectable. Next up, Yannick Granieri. Now, we know what happened with Nikolai Gakuen. He went down on his first run. He was able to put it together on a second run. Yannick had a little bit tougher of a crash on run number 1. Now, can he put it together on his second and final run? 7th last year, 8th in Crankworx France. And he's ready to do it right now. Doing it for Red Bull and YT Industries. Dropping in for you next. It's Yannick Granieri.
Yannick Granieri started things off the 360 off the start drop. Getting his tail up smooth off the up box, and you know what he wants right here. It's that cork 720, and he gets it once again.
Off the shark fin, not tricking that.
Coming into that 4-pack, he's going backflip tail whip. Such a smooth landing, grabbing a pedal and going that backflip Superman seat grab Indian air. We saw it last round. That's a new one for him for this event. On that cannon, he's holding that tuck no-hander, coming into those hips now. There it is, that flat spin, 360 X up.
So over to the cabin, up the cabin for Yannick.
On the cabin, he's going with a tall backflip and a tail whip down. So in France, he messed up the last feature, but then he fixed it in his second run. Can he do it here?
Here you go, the whale tail. One more to go for Yannick Granieri.
Bar spin up, 360 X up down,
yes!
and he lands it.
Puts it down, Yannick Granieri, 8th place in latest Alpen Crankworx, and a big relief and lots of weight off his shoulder. The monkey's off his back.
Oh, he's got to feel so good. Look at him there, just rejoicing.
Well, I like to see Louie Rebel.
Man, the fact that he kind of just completely had it all fall off the tracks on that last feature, it's exactly what happened to him in France. It's got to feel so good to fix that mistake in the second run. Look at this. This is a new one for him. The backflip Superman seat grab Indian air. Not only is it a new trick, he's got huge style with it. Grabbing that seat with his hand, doing the Superman and crossing the legs. That's the Indian air portion of the trick. He had that bar spin in and then going for the 360 X up, down. Now, he messed up on the truck driver, so he's saying, I'm going to keep my hands on these bars, turn them back, bring them back straight, and that was a perfect decision to finish that run for him.
And Cam, it seems like it's renewed focus on him. It seems like he's been so focused this season, more so than I've ever seen him. Seems like he's hungry.
He's been practicing, training. He has an airbag at home now, so just putting in his time, doing his homework, getting his slopestyle game ready.
All right, Yannick from a 50.4, falling in the last element, waiting for that score to come in. And a 76.8 top 5 finish for Yannick Granieri. Nicely done, Yannick. Oh, man, that is a big relief off his shoulders. He is happy about that one right there. Well, let's take a look how things are stacking up. Here's your top 5. Yannick Granieri, the Frenchman in 5th. Thomas Lemoine in that 4th spot. Logan Pete holding it down in 3rd. Nikolai Gakuen in 2nd. And your leader, Brandon Semenuk, on top of the heat. I'll tell you what, man, I love the story about this kid, Torquato Testa. I knew nothing about him about 3 weeks ago. Then he shows up in Colorado, and he gets on the podium in 2nd place. I still, Cam, didn't even know who he was, and he earned himself a spot because of that finish. He's here today to make it happen right now. 2nd place in Colorado, coming in his first ever Joyride, Torquato Testa.
Torquato Testa bursting on the scene right now. Backflip off the flat drop out of the start gate. The double tail up off the up box. He lands that one perfect. There we go. There's that 360 tail up. That's what we saw him mess up yesterday, stomping it clean this time. Into the 4-pack. He loves these 2 jumps. Backflip on the first jump. And backflip tuck no hander on the second jump in the 4-pack.
Oh.
He's got a new one for you here on the cannon. Oh, flip whip on the cannon!
No, say it isn't so.
Oh, man, that's history right there. Nobody has ever tried a backflip tail up off of a cannon log feature. Torquato Testa bursting onto the scene, bringing new moves.
And you see the smile. I mean, you got to be smiling no matter what happens here. Your first ever time making it to the big show and coming out and trying something no one's done.
He has the best attitude. This is a crazy situation to put somebody in who's never been to North America, hasn't ridden on a stage like this, and he's right at home.
Well, let's take a look at the replay. Torquato Testa right there doing his thing.
Here we go. Never been done before. It's one thing to flip the cannon. It's another thing to do a variation. We've seen tuck no-handers and bar spins in the flips, but he's going straight for next level progression we weren't expecting to see for a couple more years. Backflip, tail up. Unfortunately, he landed so long on that. You know, when it's a new trick, you don't know how much speed and how much pop to do. Nobody's ever done it before. He doesn't have footage to use to try to learn it. He's doing it himself, and he went a bit too long.
Well, here comes the Italian stallion to kind of finish things off here. Over to the snail berm. He's going to set up for one more. In his first ever Red Bull Joyride, Torquato Testa.
I guarantee you this is not the last you're going to see of Torquato Testa.
You know what? You can go out on a limb on that one because you know he is going to be back.
Oh, man, his attitude, his focus, how well-rounded his bag of tricks are, his ability to take new tricks and do them on crazy obstacles, he's here to stay.
Yeah, so fun to watch, too. And then surprising the world and getting in here. And yesterday, the look on his face, he looks like he was completely so scared yesterday. He comes out a little bit more comfortable today. The 52, that's the one he's going to keep. 14th place, but that's no indication on how good this rider is.
Exactly. It may not be a podium for him today, but he showed what he had in front of the world stage.
And that's going to do it for Torquato right there. You can see Nikolai, the first one to give him a high five on that one. He knows what it's like because Nikolai was that same kid a couple years ago, too, as well. There you look at it right now. Pete in third, Gakuen number 2, Salmon number 1. And it's definitely not over. But once again, Cam, I keep saying it, Salmon just has looked so relaxed, and the pressure's been off him. And when you're relaxed and you're comfortable, I got to think that it's in your favor. Next up now, Paul Genovese down in the 13th spot. Now, Paul has been doing some big stuff. 7th place FMB Diamond Series, 11th in Crankworx Rotorua, 12th in Ladies Alp Crankworx. And here we go, second and final run for Paul Genovese.
Paul Genovese, he's got that truck driver off the start gate once again, landing a little squirrely, but correcting and making it over that up box. Does he have speed for the third jump? He does not. Oh. Bummer for Paul Genovese right there, Brad.
You talk about the truck driver earlier, Donnie. How difficult is that trick when on a scale of things of all the tricks you're landing in a run?
Well, especially off a drop, too, to start the run. He spins toward his front foot, which is technically, they call it wrong, but a lot of riders do it, and it allows them to do a lot more stylish tricks spinning toward that front foot, but it is also harder to do 360s off of a flat drop takeoff. So he's not only doing that, but he's chucking the bars in there as well. We call it a truck driver. It's that 360 bar spin.
So Paul Genovese, that's going to do it for him. Still coming up for him, Mehdi Ghani on the way, Greg Watts, Tommy G, Sam Reynolds, Tomas Lemoine, Logan Pete, and then Brandon Semenuk. And by the time we get to Brandon Semenuk, you got to wonder, is he going to still be in the lead, or is someone going to eclipse him out? And you look at some of the guys coming up, and it could happen. But well, it's going to take a near-perfect run to do that.
It's a tall task to knock Brandon off that spot any day, but with that run he threw down, man, these guys got their work in store for him.
So if you're Mehdi Ghani and you're coming up next, what's your game plan here? Just to go for everything you know what to do, or just land the run that was in your mind?
I feel like just do what he does. He's brought a bunch of new tricks that we didn't know that he had. We haven't seen him do the flat drop flip in a contest earlier this year. So he's got that. Who knows what else he has? He's obviously been practicing.
Well, 7th place in Crankworx Ladies Alp. Here he comes. Second and final run from France. This is Mehdi Ghani.
Mehdi Ghani, of course, starting out, getting so far behind that bike to flip it off the flat drop. 360 bar spin on that up box. Into the step up, going so high on a front flip.
Wow.
Now we're into the 4-pack, Brad. Backflip bar spin on the first jump.
There's one.
Carrying speed into the second jump. A double tail whip. Oh!
And that one gets away from Mehdi Ghani, and that's going to be his day. Let's hear it for Mehdi Ghani one more time. Not what he was looking for, and he'll just have to settle for that 11th place where he's at right now with a 62.6.
Mehdi Ghani, it's so exciting to see him finally get onto this stage. He's been working toward this for so long. Unfortunately, it looked like he landed a little long on that first jump in the 4-pack, and he was pushing through, trying to make speed out of nothing to clear that second jump and squeeze in that double tail up. He might have landed a little sideways and just slid right out.
You know, we talked a little bit about at halftime. I was talking with your brother. We were talking to Martin about the pressure. And when you know the run you're trying to beat is a 93.8 or a 90 per second or even 85, does that put more pressure on your head there, Cam, when you're up there getting ready to drop in?
You got to focus on the right thing. So focusing on what somebody else did maybe isn't always the best case scenario. You heard Anthony in his interview talking about he's just trying to do him, not worrying about what the judges are saying, what other riders are doing. Just play toward your own strengths. And I think Mehdi Ghani was doing that, but still, even if you have the right strategy, anything can happen.
It's not like Brandon Semenuk was in his head at that point. He was just trying to land his run, right?
Yeah, no, he was just focusing on exactly what he'd been playing over and over and over in his head all week. That's the way this slopestyle game goes. You spend no waking moment not thinking about it, and even when you're sleeping, you find yourself dreaming about it.
And Mehdi Ghani right here going to come on down the whale tail, kokanee whale tail, going to land that flip, and that's going to do it for Mehdi Ghani. So a good solid showing, still in that 11th spot for him. And tell you what, just being invited to the big show, a big day at Mehdi Ghani.
And even 11th place is going to give him a lot of points. This is a diamond event, so he'll be back here next year if all goes well.
All right, so, all right, now let's take our attention up top. Greg Watts, a very good friend of yours, also a guy who's won it before. Greg Watts, he knows what he can do, but what does he do here? He's in 10th with a 68.6, and he had a pretty decent run.
His run was so good, but yeah, I grew up riding with this guy, so I know how many tricks he has. Now it comes down to which ones he's going to choose for the second run.
All right, we'll drop it in for you next. 2009 Joyride champion. His second and final run, currently in 10th. Get loud for Greg Watts.
Greg Watts starting off with a 360 off that start tower. Into the up box, missing the trick. He was doing a Superman seat grab on that before. Getting the 360, he was getting a 360 suicide, so he's going to really have a lot of ground to make up right here if he's going to improve on that first run score. Backflip suicide on the first jump in the 4-pack, going good now, but then a straight backflip on the second. Here he's coming into the cannon. Getting that, wow, holding that suicide so long, giving the crowd plenty of opportunities to take a picture of Greg Watts. Into the Joyride cabin, not getting a trick up, but then nailing that 360 down.
And over to the snail berm, one more to go. The former Joyride champ, Greg Watts. Here we go, up the whale tail.
And Greg just casually flipping down out of that thing. I think he knows after he missed a couple tricks at the beginning of that run, he was not going to improve on his score, and he was just doing a few things for the crowd, knowing that his first run was the one that he was going to keep.
I like how you bring that up, too. I mean, it's one of those things that if you have a couple bobbles or you don't get the tricks that you want to do, and you know that's probably not going to improve, why take the chances, right?
Yeah, it's true. You know, he had such a packed first run. It put him in that 10th place spot, and he's thinking, man, what do I do to improve on that run? And then when you miss a couple things, you know it's probably not going to happen.
I'll tell you what, he's been doing it for a long time and continues to always be up there in the top 10. So the 68.6, that's the one he's going to keep, and he's going to end up in that 10th spot. We'll see if that holds up. Put your hands together one more time for Greg Watts. And taking a look at it right there, Sam Reynolds 6, Yannick 5, Thomas Lemoine in that 4th spot, Logan Pete 3, Nikolai Gakuen the 90.4, that's when the 90s start kicking in, and Brandon Salmon at 93.8 in that top spot. So 5 more riders to go, standing in between Brandon Salmon getting his 7th podium and his 4th Joyride win. And I'll tell you what, this man right here could do it. He's currently in 8th place. 2012 was the big breakout year for Tommy G. Took the win at Joyride. Let's see what he's got right now. Tommy G sitting in 8th. Second and final run. Put your hands together for Thomas Jinan.
Thomas Jinan, opposite 360 off the start drop. Going regular 360 off the up box. Corked 720, landed perfect there on that step up. Looks like he got a tuck no-hander out of that shark fin, rolling right into a backflip bar spin, a tuck no-hander, holding on to things into the second jump, 360 clicked inverted table.
Perfect, here we go, Tommy G.
We're into the cannon. 360 tuck no-hander, so much extension. There it is, that double tail whip, so casual on that hip.
And here we go to the cabin, up the cabin.
What's it gonna be, a suicide no-hander up the cabin?
Down the cabin.
Oh, there it is, the flat drop flip down. So much pop.
One more to go through the snail berm, setting up for the whale tail. Thomas Jinan.
Tail up in, how will he finish? 360 bar spin, get those bars! Thank goodness he nabbed those things at the last second.
I love it. Get those bars out of Cam on that one right there. He knew what to do. Tommy G getting a good run in there. That should be an improvement. 71.8. I think that could improve for Tommy G.
100%. His first run was so good, but remember, he had that 360 off the last step down, and he opened up. He didn't get the variation. This time, throwing the bars into the last second, getting his hands on those grips, and cruising smoothly through the finish line.
And let's take a look here, Tommy G.
This is his run through the cabin. He had a suicide no-hander up, throw back to the old school, but look how much pop he had on that flat drop flip coming off of that cabin.
And that's a perfect landing. You can't get better than that. Up to the whale tail. Here's the combo you're talking about.
He had the tail up in, which is so tough to do, and that 360 bar spin. Where's my handlebar? There it is.
Found it.
Smooth through the landing.
All right, 71.8, the best score of him. He's trying to beat an 85. Logan Pete is in 3rd with that 85. That's the score he needs to beat to get in a podium position. Has he done it? Tommy G waiting for the score to come in. Does he get on the podium? Run number 2 score says 88 into 3rd place for Tommy G. He is on the podium right now. Wow. 2 times a charm. He puts it down on his second and final run. That's a good one. And Tommy G finds himself on another Red Bull Joyride podium. And let's send things down to Tina Dixon standing by.
Tommy, you're now sitting on the podium, and with that reaction that we saw on your face, what are your thoughts on your score? How redeeming is that?
You know, the first years I finished first, and was just like insane in my head what's going on the year after and the year after, always missing runs, only on that event, and now I'm really happy to be at the bottom.
What do you think of the rest of the competition ready to come down?
I guess the first place is taken by the local boy. But let's see if I can stay on the podium, and yeah, good luck to everybody.
All right, what a great second run, guys.
Indeed. I mean, he said he's happy to get to the bottom right there, but I'm pretty sure he's also happy that he's in 3rd place. He's on a podium right now.
Exactly. He's been on there before. He's wanted to get on there again for the last couple of years, and look, he's got a chance to do it right here.
It just shows, Cam, how hard that is, man. You get up on the podium, you win it. 2012, you probably think, oh, I could probably win it again. I'll probably get on the podium next year. It hasn't been until this year he's jumped back into a podium position. There you go. Tommy G holding it down from Belgium in the 3rd spot. Nikolai Gakuen, no one challenging that 90.4 yet in 2nd. And Brandon Salmon, it's going to take a near perfect run to beat that 93.8 here today.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to take a lot. Let's see who we have coming up next.
Well, we have none other than Sam Reynolds coming up for you next. And Sam Reynolds been having a very decent year so far this year. Currently in the top 10, 8th in the FMB Diamond Series. 6th in Crankworx Rotorua, 9th in Leda Zalpa Crankworx. Let's see what he's got right now. Coming in next, second and final run for Sam Reynolds.
360 for Sam Reynolds, starting things off. Into the up box, we got a tail whip. Looking real smooth so far. We got a 720, so smooth. A little bit of a tabletop out of that shark fin. Now we're into the 4-pack. Backflip, tail up on the first jump, carrying speed. What's it gonna be on the second jump? There it is, that nothing can, Nova can. Legs to the side, hands off the bars. Superman off the cannon.
Finds the pedals.
Double tail up this time on the hip.
Oh, slips it a little bit. Now he's coming up to the cabin now.
We're on the cabin for Sam Reynolds with a backflip up, a 360 down.
So that sets it up to the snail berm in our final object right here, the whale tail.
Tuck no-hander up for Sam Reynolds, finishing things off with a backflip, tuck no-hander.
And
nice.
Sam Reynolds putting that down, that run right there for Sam Reynolds. He's currently in 7th, had a decent run on run number 1, Cam. I mean, he had the 74.8. That was a good run from him. Do you think that could improve, possibly?
I think he threw some stuff in there that we didn't see in the first run. It was also just really dialed. You know, he's picking different tricks, like that no-footed can, no-hander. I love how long he holds his hands off and just floats alongside his bike.
And once again, you see pretty much all the smiles when you get down to this finish area. You know it's done. Taking a look at some of these replays here.
Here we go. This was Sam Reynolds on the 4-pack, getting that backflip tail whip on the first jump. And here's my favorite. Legs to the side, arms straight up in the air, not even touching the bike with anything. Maybe his hip rubbing up against the seat. Finishing things off here with the tuck no-hander in and the backflip tuck no-hander down. Judges love the flip variation on that final step down.
And now we wait for the score. What do the judges think of that? Does he get enough to get 88 for 3rd? You need to beat a 90.4 for 2nd or a 93.8 for the top spot. But just to crack a podium, got to beat an 88 right now. We wait the score to come in. Sam Reynolds, run number 2. That's going to be an 83.6 top 5 finish for Sam Reynolds, and he is stoked.
He's got to be pumped, Brad. I mean, top 5 sitting so far at Crankworx, you know, Joyride, the biggest event of the year. He's had bad luck here before, but there he is, sitting in the top 5.
Wow, and now we are down to just 3 more competitors to go before this thing is done. Sad to see it come to an end, but we got 3 more runs, and right now, I want to send in and check in with Hannah Bernard, standing by with Logan Pete, who just got bumped out by Tommy G. Hannah?
Hey, thanks very much, guys. Yes, a drier day here at the Joyride start today, and I have Logan Pete here. Now, Logan, you had a very impressive first run, scoring an 85, but with Tommy G's amazing second run, you're now knocked down to 4th. Now, you got 4th in this competition last year. What are you going to do in order to get on that podium today?
Yeah, I'm going to try my best. I got a little more in the tank. Just going to try and put it down, stay smooth, and get to the bottom.
And now longtime friend Brandon Semenek is dropping down after you. What has he been saying as some encouragement before you go down for your second run?
Yeah, we practice together all the time, and he just telling me I know what I'm doing and just to do it.
All right, local boy here, Logan Pete, about to drop in for run number 2. Guys, back up to you.
All right. I like that. That sounds good. Just, you know what to do. Just go do it.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah, thanks, Brandon.
Yeah,
I
right.
got that. I can do that. Yeah. Well, that's still pretty good advice because you know all these guys have the huge bag of tricks. Everybody knows what they can do on every single element, but can you put it together when it counts? And I'll tell you what, this man has been busy. He's been competing in so many disciplines here at Crankworx, been in the running for the king of Crankworx, but here he is, Slopestyle, his second and final run today. He's currently sitting in that 6th spot, looking to improve on that. Give it up, get loud and proud right here for Thomas Lemoine.
Thomas Lemoine, 360 off that start drop. 360 table, real good style off the up box. Whoa, he's going for the cork 720. Wow, he landed it. I'm not sure if I've seen that one out of him. Bar spin out of the shark fin, 360 tuck no hander, so smooth on that
There's
first jump of the 4-pack. And next one, backflip bar spin to X up on the second jump. He looks stoked.
Gets that.
This is going good so far. We've got the tuck no hander to bar spin, the combo on the cannon. Into the hip.
Oh, slow rotation there.
So much style on that flat spin, connecting straight into that hipped landing.
Up the cabin.
He's got the cannonball up the cabin.
Down the cabin.
Unique 360 X up down.
Over to the snail berm. Here we go. One more to go. It's the whale tail. Thomas Lemoine.
Tuck no hander into the whale tail. And a 360 bar spin to X up. Ow! Wow, he added a lot into that run.
Oh, my goodness. Things are heating up now. That was what he wanted to do. Let's hear it for Thomas Lemoine one more time. Come on, second and final run for him. He has done what he needed to do. Now it comes in, is there enough? Everybody coming in. There's Anton, Tommy G in there, Louie Rebel in there.
And is that going to shake things up?
So we have got to take a look at this, adding some extra.
Oh, wow, we couldn't even see from the first angle. That was like an inward table, looking like it was gonna be a 360, and then he chucked the shoulders, turned it into a 7, adding a variation with style into that 720. You don't see that very often. Down here to finish it off, it was a tuck no-hander in, the 360 bar spin to X up down, and then fist pump to celebrate.
All right, well, he is trying to beat an 88 for third, a 90.4 for second, a 93.8 for the top spot. Can he do it? Waiting for it to come in. 6th place to 4th place at 86.6. 4th place for Thomas Lemoine, and that's going to bump Logan Pete even farther down now into 5th. So Logan was in 3rd. Tommy G bumps him down to 4th. Thomas Lemoine comes in and bumps Logan Pete down to the number 5 spot. And he is the last rider coming your way. Can either stand between Brandon Semenek having a victory lap, or maybe he can get on the podium for the first time, Logan Pete.
Well, Brad, he said he has more gas in the tank, and after getting bumped out of those positions simultaneously 2 runs in a row, he's going to have to dip into that tank.
Well, you know that he said he has what it takes in there. There's a couple surprises that he hasn't shown us yet. There he is in 5th. Finished in 4th place last year at Red Bull Joyride. 2nd and final run, the last guy to upset the balance and try to dethrone Brandon from taking the win. Logan Pete, here we go.
Logan Pete, destiny in his own hands, starting out with a 360 off the start drop, an opposite 360 X up out of the up box, getting that 720, landing smooth once again on the step up. Carrying speed out of the shark fin into the 4-pack.
Here we go.
Backflip bar spin, once again landing perfect. Missing the trick on the second jump. That's not going to help, but can he keep his composure? There we go, 360 off the cannon. Oh, no.
And he's able to roll out of it.
Man, what a tough dude. Coming up short, 360 in that cannon, but popping up right away. Logan Pete.
Unfortunately, not. Well, and that means one thing right here, getting on his 7th podium in Joyride and taking his 4th win. It's never been done before. This is what we call the victory lap. A big congratulations going to the local boy, Brandon Semenek, Cam.
Oh, man, it's so insane, man. I just keep thinking, how many times can the same guy just blow minds on this hill? He's won it 4 times now. This makes it a true 3-peat. 3 in a row. He's truly dominating in this sport. So many people painting that target on his back, trying to beat him. Bret was able to do it twice this year, but This is his home turf, and nobody knows winning on the Boneyard like Brandon Semenuk.
This is all just a little something in the tank for you, Whistler.
Logan Pete, so consistent, trying to push his limits out here today. But right now, doing it for the fans. He'll be back. The crowd, you love him.
Well, I got to tell you what, everyone, you have been in for such a great treat today. What an amazing day. Red Bull TV, thanks for joining us. And this is what we call the victory lap for Brandon Semenuk. Third in 2007, third 2008, second 09, won it in 11, won it in 13, won it in 14, and wins it here today, 2015. Your Red Bull Joyride champion, Brandon Semenuk, on the victory lap.
Oh, there's the style. Here's the tricks that he wants to do in his run to show you how much style he has, but maybe they're not the tricks that score as well. So right now, he's going to do the stuff that makes him feel good. You know, oh, backflip, bar spin, and tuck no-hander. He wins so much out here. He's got to start practicing those victory laps, holding that tuck no-hander on the cannon. Let's just take a minute to savor the style that is Brandon Semenuk. There we go, bar spin onto that cabin. Oh, flat drop, 1 foot of cannon down. He's so casual with these tricks that most riders spend all year just trying to nail for their run.
And on the whale tail.
Oh, classic 360 bar spin to a little goon air on purpose and skidding through the arches.
Oh, look at that. They're already spraying him right now.
Deja vu for Brandon.
Brandon Semenuk. All the pressure was on him last year. He had the weight of 1,000 men on his shoulders last year, and he came out and did the first time anyone has ever won a Joyride 3 times. He did that last year. He's just secured his 4th win, but he's also got back-to-back-to-back wins and his 7th podium. Wow. Let's send it downstairs to Tina Dixon, standing by with the champ.
And Brandon, it has not been the easiest year for you. You started out in Rotorua with that crash and then not getting the run that you wanted and laid us out. But to finish off this way with your 4th Joyride win, what does this mean to you?
Oh, it's like a complete redemption for the bad season I had at the start of the year. So happy. Yeah.
When did you start to feel it on this course? When did things start to click?
I honestly felt really good in practice, and I felt good in practice in all the other events too. It's just, I don't even know. I needed that run.
You needed that run. And how much did experience at the other events, competing at all the other Joyrides, pay off for you today?
I don't think you can ever have too much experience here. It's just like so stressful and so many people, and you just want to perform and put on a good show. So I think I've done it before, but it's still hard every time.
Well, you did it again today. Congratulations, guys.
Oh, wow. That's the consummate professional that is Brandon Semenuk, and he has done it yet again, Cam. I can't even believe it that he has done it. 7 podiums. He also completes the 3-peat and 4 Joyride wins, and this is how it stacks up. Tommy G going to get on the podium again, just like the win he got in 2012. And Nikolai Gakuen has done it. He's climbed on his first podium ever at Joyride in that 2nd spot. And Brandon Semenuk, what do you say about him, Cam?
Well, man, the guy works so hard. It's not like only experience on this hill. It's every day when he wakes up and he does all these tricks, and it all comes to fruition when he drops in on this course in front of this crowd.
And, you know, we talk about how, you know, he tries so hard and he practices so hard and he puts so much time into doing what he does. And if you haven't seen his new video part in Unreal, please check that out, and you can see just how hard this guy works. Why don't we take a look and show just how hard he works to take the win.
This
check it out.
winning run was a work of art. The oppo truck off, 360 downside whip on the up box, the flip double whip, and tricking absolutely every feature, getting the bar spin out of that shark fin. Of course, his trademark move he's been using to win, the Cork 720, and a new one, a backflip tail to 1-footed can. He unveiled that in his new movie, Revel in the Chaos, and everybody's wondering, would he bring it to the course? Another trick there, the backflip bar spin on the cannon. That's straight from his movie onto the course. Double tail up on the hip, making it look too easy. That looks like a filler trick, but it's a double tail up. Getting the 360 double bar spin, another casual looking trick. Of course, the flat drop flip off the cabin. Bar spinning into the snail berm, just carrying on how he doesn't miss any obstacle. Bar spin in, looked like that might have been an opposite bar spin in. And then, of course, it looks like he exploded into that Cork 720. It looked kind of like how he did last year, but maybe just with 365 days of refinement.
Well, you said the fast rotation he had on that, the way he kind of whipped that around too. And I like also what Paul Rackhead Judges said. They're looking for you to trick everything. And on the shark fin, you see him trick the shark fin. You see him tricking every opportunity there was to put a trick in. Brandon Semenuk put a trick in. Let's take a look at our FMB leaderboard right now and how it's playing out. So with Tommy G getting that third place, that means he bumps to the top of the leaderboard with 3,300 points right there. Bret Reader will be bumped down to that second spot. Nikolai Gakuen still stays in that third spot because that is where he is. Logan Pete in the fourth, Sam Pilgrim in the fifth. That's your top 5 in the FMB Diamond Series standings. Well, what an amazing competition, man. You know, I'm happy to think, I think I'm just happy for all of the riders for coming away. No one got seriously injured out of this thing. Yeah, we saw, you know, Tom get shaken up pretty hard, but coming away clean with no major injuries, it's a good thing, and it's a good day when that happens.
That's how it is. You prioritize. You want to land your run and then care about what place you get after.
All right, it's time to hand out the hardware and the awards here. Let's get started. For your Red Bull Joyride Awards, watching us on Red Bull TV. In third place, claiming yet another podium from his 2012 win from Belgium. Put your hands together for Tommy G, Thomas Jinan. And there's Tommy G making his way to that third spot. One more time. Get loud for Tommy G, huh? I mean, you've had 2 podiums at Joyride. How sweet does it feel to get back on the podium, Cam?
Oh, man, your second podium always feels better because you always doubt yourself. You say, oh, I've been on that podium. Can I do it again? Thomas Jinan was standing on the top step in 2012. 2 years where he didn't touch the thing, and now he's back on there knowing that he's doing exactly what he needs to do.
Well, you realize just how hard it is. In second place, getting his first ever Joyride podium. That's right, from the U.S., let's get loud for Nikolai Gakuen. And how does Nikolai feel right now, Cam? I mean, this is his first ever podium. How'd you feel when you got your first ever podium in second place?
It's got to be amazing for him. I mean, he came out here a couple years ago not having any clue what to expect. He was only in the best trick contest, and he had so many tricks, but the ability to put together a whole run wasn't there yet. He's been working so hard on getting the whole package, and he is just an animal on the slopestyle course these days. There you go. You see him in second place at Joyride.
And it's only taken him 2 years to do it. That's some fast turnaround. All right. Time to crown your champ. This is going to take a second. Your Red Bull Joyride champion, making it 4 Joyride wins and actually completing the three-peat and his 7th podium at Joyride. The local boy, get loud, get proud, mucho respect for Brandon Semenuk. Brandon Semenuk, his 4th win, his 4th Joyride win, and competing the three-peat. It's hard enough to try and win this thing back-to-back, but that's a three-peat for the man right there, Brandon Semenuk. So congratulations are in order. Let's hear it for all the boys. Tommy G in third, Nikolai Gakuen claiming second, and Brandon Semenuk with yet another win. Oh, now it is time for the bubbly bath. As we take a look at the beautiful sights out here in Whistler. But I mean, Cam, how excited is Nikolai Gakuen to get on the podium in his first ever podium here at Joyride?
It's the place where he first saw slopestyle in person, and then after a few years of tasting so many podiums, you know that one last thing on his mind is he wants to stand on this one. This is the one that means the most.
Well, I'll tell you what, for the first ever, you know, Crankworx has stepped things up into a world tour, meaning 3 stops. That's right. We started things out, Crankworx Rotorua, then it was Crankworx in Les Deux Alpes, France, and then it was off here to the final one, Red Bull Joyride here in Whistler. And it's the overall standings, your overall slopestyle championship, your standings, and that means Bret Reader with those 2 big wins is going to take the title for your Crankworx Slopestyle Championship standings right there. Bret Reader taking the #1 spot. Brandon Semenuk, well, he's going to move up in that #2 with the win out here. And Tommy G is going to round things out in 3rd. And Nikolai Gakuen having another good year in that 4th spot with Logan Pete 5, Sam Reynolds 6, Thomas Lemoine in that 7th spot, and Sam Pilgrim 8. So, hey, just showing up on that list in the top 8, that's big stuff, man.
Oh, that's huge for sure. And it is actually crazy when you're looking at that list to think that Brandon didn't even complete a run in New Zealand. He had that 2nd place in France and the win here and still managing to get into that 2nd place spot.
And it shows you also, it also shows you how many points you can get. So it is time to crown our World Tour champion here for the 2015 season. That is our next award to hand out for you. All right, and it is time to bring him up to the podium. He is going to take the win, the overall series win here on your Crankworx World Tour. Put your hands together, do it for Trek C3. It is Bret Reader. Yeah, he may not be the happiest after what happened today, but he can rest assured he's had an amazing year no matter what, and finding himself on top of the podium for the Crankworx World Tour in slopestyle.
You know what, Brad? At least he can breathe now. Brett, take a big old breath. It's over, man.
I think he just did.
Look at the size of that check right there. Those 2 wins meaning so much for him in New Zealand and France.
And I'll tell you what, if you missed anything here on Red Bull TV, make sure that you go back on the Red Bull TV. You can check out the event analyzer. You can watch all the runs from Red Bull Joyride out here. So that has been an amazing time indeed. Thanks for everyone for joining us out here. Make sure you get them hashtags always flowing. Joyride 2015 Crankworx, and of course Red Bull TV. Check the event analyzer. You want to go analyze and be a judge at home and see if you could judge the correct runs? Well, you can do that on the event analyzer. Tell you what, on behalf of our entire Crankworx crew, thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching us on Red Bull TV. It was an amazing experience all the way around. We saw some crashes, we saw some good stuff, and we saw some guys get on the podium. On behalf of Tina Dixon down there in the mix, Hannah Bernard, and of course, partner in crime, Cam McCall, I'm Brad J. Good night now from Whistler.